Checking. 1, 2, 3. Are we alive? Yes, great. I'd like to call the August 10th, 12 o'clock Downtown Development Authority Board meeting to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Bob Cantwell,
Here.
Cole Davids,
Here.
Jim Knight,
Here.
Brian Rosen,
Here.
Jason Legal,
Here.
Joe Gagliardi,
Here.
and Mayor Tom Carney.
Here. And I believe Al is on the way. Can we all rise, if you can rise, for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do we have any changes to the agenda?
No, sir. Not for me.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Motion to approve the agenda as is.
And a second? Do we get a second here? Great. We got 2 half seconds for a whole second.
It's Monday.
It is Monday. Happy Monday to everybody, and I hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. So that brings us to our public comments and partner reports, limited.
Yep.
Oh, all in favor? Yes, aye. Thank you. It is Monday.
Aye.
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 Aye. Try that again. Now we'll go to public comments and partner reports, limited to 3 minutes, please.
Great. I'm going to do partner reports first. Sergeant Schmidt, would you want to go first? Jim? Oh. Okay, good.
Let the citizen go. Okay. Hi, I'm Stephanie Emelman. I'm CEO of the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce, and I just want to say a couple of things. We're excited to be partnering with the DDA for Contacts and Cocktails on August 20th. It's going to be at the Cornell Museum. Thanks again for being a great partner and easy to do business with, so we hope to see you there. I've got a couple other events I wanted to tell you about. On August 25th, we're going to have our Focus on Women's Summer Soiree, and it'll take place at the Hyatt Place. And this event is to really promote our locally owned, small, women-owned businesses. So it's free and open to the public, and it's, for all intents and purposes, a trunk show. So you'll find clothes, shoes, candles, jewelry, gifts. So it's free and open to the public. You get a welcome drink, and we've got several of our local restaurants that'll be providing food. So the focus is on women, but men are also welcome. So please come out and do some shopping on the 25th. And on August 27th, the Delray Chamber Education Fund, which is our 501c3 nonprofit, will be having the annual education breakfast. It's nearly sold out, but there are some single tickets left. We'll be hearing from State Representatives Rob Long and Deborah Tendrich. And immediately after that, we're going to be hosting an education roundtable. So this is the Mayor's Initiative on Education. And the roundtable will include some of our educators as well as the nonprofits that are involved in education. And they'll be tackling some of the items that were identified in the Visions 2035 program. So that'll be taking place on August 27th. So if you haven't gotten your ticket, go to dcef.org to get your ticket for the education breakfast. And that's it.
Thank you.
Stephanie.
Thank you.
Jim Schmidt, Downtown Sergeant. This month, or past month, we had 20 significant incidences, 12 arrests, 46 truck stops, and we continue to proactively address juvenile complaints, the e-bikes, bikes in general. We'll make traffic stops, contact the parents. So we've been pretty successful in that, made a few attempts on that. Beach takeovers, we've been proactively addressing those. We're able to get on their social media and adequately staff those events prior to them becoming anything of significance, as well as underage drinking. Continue to monitor that as well.
Awesome.
Just a quick question on the beach takeovers. Are they
Yes.
continuing to still put it out there in the social media and stuff like that? Or are they?
So we had one that we caught earlier in this month, and that's the only one that we've seen so far. So hopefully our idea is that there's not successful. So we able to proactively address that with staffing and so forth. So they're really not being able to come of much of it.
Glad to hear it, because
can be frightening for a lot of people, I know, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I could just interject, the one that they had
Please.
a couple weeks back, the police responded very quickly, and the entire situation was dissipated even before it really got started. So the Delray Beach Police did a fabulous job, fabulous response job. So
Appreciate it.
just want to acknowledge when,
Thank
it's
you.
important that people know that you're out there doing that.
Yep, that's the plan, absolutely. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Haircut looking sharp.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Any other public comments?
Any other public comments? Come on down.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to see you.
Absolutely, all the time. My name is Cynthia Ridley. I live at 210 Northwest 2nd Avenue. I come before you at least once a year, asking and begging as well. I do an event called 12 Days of Christmas. I know some of you are new to the DDA board, so again, I'm here to ask to let you know a little early, because I usually show up a little late, but this year I'm going to be a little early asking. Get ready to do the 12 Days of Christmas again. Usually I present a budget to you guys. I'm not ready, but I'm just letting you know that I'm coming. I'm going to have my budget ready. Last year you were so generous in giving to the community. It's called the Santa Pajama Party that I do every year. We have about 200 to 300 families that come to this event. I think I'm not sure that I give you one of my calendars, so I have those ready for you to give probably next time you see me about it. But I will be coming. But I'm going to do one ask. I think last year I was letting you know that some of the children that's a little older, the things that we give out on Santa Pajama Parties from 5:30 to 8:30 to 9, that we give out toys to all the children and families in our community that comes out there. So they come from all over our community, but for the children that's a little older, I'm asking for gift cards. I think I told you guys that last year. I almost got beat up, so don't get me beat up again this year. So I'm going to ask if each one of you will at least commit to at least give me 4 gift cards. And that gift cards is December the 17th. So please come out. Y'all get a little busy, but please come out and see the families in our community. That's a personal invitation. But I am asking if you can at least give me 4 gift cards each. And those gift cards will go back at the older kids from 13 to 17 that's now coming to the Santa Pajama Party. So we would like if you would commit to that. I'm asking to at least collect 50 gift cards. I'm already receiving some gift cards to give out to the kids. I'm trying to do it early so I'll be prepared. So I'm asking you that's sitting here to do that as well. If you can give me 4 $25 gift cards, I'm going to be specific, not 10, because they play roadblocks in them cards. So whatever you give me will be greatly appreciated. So I'm asking now, so y'all got time to think about it as well. So if you can do that, I will be forever grateful for doing that. Or if you want to do more, I will do that. But you'll be receiving a flyer that looks just like this, and as we usually, and our DDA usually help out when I do the budget. Last year we were able to do family photos, and people really appreciate that. Last year we were able to give out hot dogs and stuff to the children and the families. I think we gave out about 300. When I went back, it was none left. So it's growing. So each year I try to add something to it. So we usually get donations. Someone gave me a donation to buy hot dogs and juice last year. So we're just trying to grow it, because after 10 years, I'm done. I'm going to pass it on. So you'll be seeing somebody else with a hat on that will come and do the same thing, because it's something I would love to continue. So it's 8 years coming. So we're doing what we're supposed to do in the community. So I appreciate it. Sleep on it. So that little girl in that hat, she told him, drop it in your spirit. I'm going to need some gift cards from me, and I surely appreciate it. And I think you might have a phone number. Laura know how to get in contact with me. If you just turn them to them, I will be grateful. Thank you, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead, Ms. Ridley, and I'll commit to the 4 gift cards myself.
100% I
What you're
will as
looking
well.
for, just let you know. Now I don't need to sleep on it, but thank you. And then also maybe sometime
there
I'd like
value?
to, and I'd also like to catch up with you
$100.
sometime, because I know I'm like the budget stickler around here, and I do
know
want to
you
get
is.
with you on the front end to just try to give you like a form to work from, so that when you come up, like I want to do that with you. So maybe we'll get together in the morning before an elders meeting when you're already planning on being somewhere. Spend 15-20 minutes together. Let me.
You always have
just
my time. You
help
got my number. You know how to find me. Thank
All
you.
right, you got it. Thanks.
we have any other public comments? Going once, going twice, sold, no more, thank you. Okay, so that brings us to the consent agenda for approval. The board meeting minutes approval of July 13th, 2026. And let the record show that Al has joined us.
Hello, Al.
Yeah, consent agenda is all items under 3. So, need a motion and a second.
Can I have a motion?
I think there's something I saw, so hold on, I gotta just look at my notes. 'cause
I
I'm
thought I
trying
saw-
to pull up my notes. So one quick second. I just think there was one part where you named Jim as the
Vice Chair, I saw that in there.
That was it, I think I saw.
Wasn't gonna let that bother me.
It was like, it's small, man, it's just like, I'm trying to read everything
We
now.
demoted you.
I saw it.
Yeah, okay, there you go, so that's it.
And crossed it.
Foreshadowing. No, I'm just kidding.
Can I have a
Thank
motion,
you.
please?
I so move.
And a second?
Yeah, I need it.
I'll second it.
We had a motion and a second. All in favor? Like sign? Aye.
Good.
And that took care of the consent agenda. So that brings us to the presentations. Laura?
Yes.
Sure.
All right. Okay, so today I have the special honor of recognizing 2 individuals together. These 2 wonderful human beings have done some great work for us for many, many, many years, specifically for our events. But really have gotten to know them, especially over the past couple of years. And I wanted to recognize, and these both are from the Parks and Recreation Department, Miss Debbie and Celso Flores, who both, if you come up here, I want to have you come up here and be in the light. Come here and see everybody. So these beautiful people, I'll just read, really do make a difference, especially with our events and everything that you have, the hard work that you do. They're there to make really just everything in the back, behind the scenes happened, especially, and not the most glamorous roles, but they're doing amazing work and always smiling. Their positive attitude has a huge impact on our downtown community through their professionalism, attitudes, their bright smiles, always smiling, both of them. Look at them. And their just commitment to work is just in how they serve their people. They've made a difference in our team's lives and making sure they're there on time. They're way before time, and they're there after, just making sure every little piece is cleaned up and taken care of. And spotless, you wouldn't even know that we've been around. So we really, really appreciate it. They clearly take pride in what they do. And it shows in every interaction. They greet everyone with a smile, approach every task with willingness to help, and never hesitate to go above and beyond. The phrases no or that's not my job is simply not part of who they are. They are truly bright lights in our downtown and Old School Square events, and we are incredibly grateful for your dedication, your energy that you bring to every event and to everyone you meet. So thank you. You're amazing. And we have a special certificate here for you both. So I'll give that certificate of appreciation from the DDA for you. Hang on your wall or in your car. You can put in your little plaque on your dashboard, right? So there you go.
Thank you.
And we know you as Miss Debbie, so that's what we.
That's fine.
And then we wanted to give you a book from our history, along with our Love Del Rey stickers that you are so promoting all the time. So you both get one of those too. To add to your collection.
Thank you.
And do you want to say anything?
Really
Would you like to
appreciate
say anything?
Well, you go
Come on.
I don't want to talk. I can talk for
Oh
a
my
while.
God.
That's okay.
I
Bring
would
it
just
on.
like to say thank you, and anything that I can put my hands to, I'm willing to help.
Nope.
You're welcome.
Well, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. The city of Del Rey is moving forward. I can see a lot of development everywhere, and especially with the downtown. Every time you see a building empty, here they come to try to find somebody else to get in there and keep moving forward. So thank you all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give this to you. I didn't get one for also, but I know this one.
Thank you. You want a flower?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Great job. All right, and I have one more recognition for our team member, Shelley Lixar, who's our team member of the month. And just wanted to just say a few great words about Shelley and her work. And it's only been really 18 months since Shelley arrived with the DDA as a team member. And she's made a huge impact with not only just the visitor center, but the visitor experience, our business experience, the economic impact that's happening from that facility and beyond. And she has really brought her organizational structure, her leadership, her community ties, everything that she's done, and she's over-dedicated. And everything that she has done and committed to our organization. So I just really thank you. I thank you for everything that you do and continue to do for the city of Delray Beach and the downtown. So come on up. Thank you. Sorry, it's in a
Thank you. My goodness, thank you so much. Love to be here.
Please, we'd love to hear from you. Come on up, Shelley.
Very glad to be here and very glad to help. So proud to be part of Delray Beach.
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to old business and the annual financial audit for board acceptance.
Yes, and here we have Mr. Brandon Lopez.
Tough to follow up those last two presentations, but Chair and board members, my name is Brandon Lopez. I'm a partner with CBIZ. We're your external auditors. And I'm here today to go through the financial statements for the 2025 fiscal year. I'll go through some key points, high level, and then if there's any specific questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those. And if you have a copy in front of you, I'll just be referencing some of the page numbers. But before I get started, I definitely want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. An audit there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of information, a lot of requests, a lot of questions back and forth. And the reason that you'll see we're here today with the opinion that we received is because of the hard work for Laura and her team, right? Whenever there's a request, whenever there's information, they're there to give that to us. And, this is on top of their day-to-day job, right, that they have. So I definitely want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. So if we're following along, we're going to go to the printed page 1 in your document. And this is the independent auditor's report. So this is what us as the auditors basically give. This is our opinion. And it reads in the first section, it goes into it, and it basically gives what's called an unmodified opinion. That's a clean opinion. That's the only opinion as a board and an organization you want to be associated with. So we're very happy to let the board know they received an unmodified, a clean opinion. And basically what that means is the numbers that have been being reported and are in this document can be relied upon. Right? There were no material audit adjustments, no changes to those numbers. So we received an unmodified, a clean opinion. The next section, just briefly highlight, is what's called management's discussion and analysis. And that starts on printed page 4. And I always like to mention these documents, sometimes they can be very big. This is about 30, 40 pages with a lot of information. But I always mention if there's anything you're going to read in detail, the management's discussion and analysis is definitely about like 6 or 7 pages that do a great job of giving the reader an overview of the year and does a comparison to prior year and lets the reader know what were some of those fluctuations, what changes and what caused some of those changes. So it does a good job of giving you that overview of the fiscal year. We continue along, we get to printed page 10, and these are now where we start to look into the financial statements and the numbers. And just one thing I want to highlight, because it's a little different and unique. The numbers that you see here, no changes, but there's a large number that you see called a lease liability, about 300 and something thousand. And then you also see an associated, a 300 and something thousand capital asset. And if you remember a few years ago, GASB, which is what governs the accounting for governmental entities, they changed the way entities account for leases. In the past, it's essentially as a pay-as-you-go as an expense. And now what they essentially had the users of the financials wanted was that you're now going to calculate what are those future payments. You're going to have an associated right of use asset for that lease, and then you're going to have associated liability for that payment. So at the end of the day, it washes out to zero. It just kind of grosses up these numbers. So I always point that out because it's these big numbers that, why they're there, it's really because of a GASB pronouncement, but it's no impact because at the end of the day, it nets, and then it flows through what you actually paid out on a year-to-year basis. So very consistent on the P&L side, your profit and loss. It just kind of grosses up those numbers on the balance sheet side. So something to point out. And then the only thing other I want to mention is because this is a government audit, we have to follow what's called government auditing standards. So while we're not testing internal controls, we're required to get an understanding of the processes. And if there is anything based on our procedures, we would, disclose that and report that to management. And based on the procedures we performed, we did identify some recommendations in some of the processes. And in the report, it mentions what was management's corrective action plan, and they've actually already implemented some of those processes. So that way in 2026, when we're back, we don't anticipate having those recommendations being repeated. So it more so on the expense side, but when you look at the recommendations, it's more so not that there isn't a process, it's that we want to make sure you have all the documentation maintained. So if anybody were to come back and take a look, everything is there for the reviewer, for the users. But nothing that rose to the significance that would alter our audit opinion, which is the most important thing. So at the end of the day, a positive year for the DDA, a clean opinion for the financial statements. So those are kind of the key points and the highlights that I wanted to go through, but if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those.
Hi, I just have a really quick question. I'm sorry, you're referencing the GL account change for the lease, correct? From one year to the next year, it was just a change in accounts?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
I noticed that and I was wondering what that was. Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry.
Any other questions from the board?
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I have you didn't have an action item on it, so I
It's
wasn't
not a
sure,
formal,
so.
it's consensus, right?
It's already been submitted to the
Right.
state because of the date. It's just hearing on this agenda
Yeah,
because there
just
was.
accepting it into the record.
I'll make a motion to accept it into the record.
Okay, very good.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to the Downtown Beautification
Committee, yeah.
Task Force Committee and updates.
Okay, all right. So today we are at the point of building our task force. And you all received, as part of your packet, all of the applications. We received 27 applications for the task force. And based on our resolution to build the task force, there is a criteria that we outlined, and it would be 15 members. And provided in the backup was the listing of all task force members. I believe, did you hand out that, did you create an alphabetical, we have an alphabetical sheet for the board members, did we provide that to them? You all had in your packet this.
We have it.
Okay.
We have it loose and we have it in the packet.
Okay, great. And so of that, we have a very good selection of the criterias. I think we did receive, the only area we did not get a representative was a retailer, but we did have restaurateurs. So with that, I wanted just to turn it over to Jules because she's leading this effort. I want to make sure that board member Goulardi-Zellman has an opportunity to speak.
Hello, everyone. So we reviewed it. We gave, I don't know anybody that submitted an application, but I based it, at least my thoughts, off of, logically what we thought, relevant careers and expertise, would lend themselves to the city by being part of this. And so we have recommendations, and I'm just going to go through them if you follow along on the sheet that you have.
So before you go that direction, so one thing I just wanted to say, we had talked, because based on the resolution, it's appointments of the members today. Each board member can appoint 2, and since Jewel is the chair, since there's 15 members, that she would appoint 3. Jewel's not serving as a task member from the board, so it would be 16 members.
So that was a question that I had.
You're not going to be a member of this task force because you're overseeing them.
Oh, okay.
As the DDA.
I didn't know, because I was going to say, if I am number 15,
No.
then we had 14 selected. If I am not number 15, we have 15 selected, at least recommendations, and obviously anybody can pick whoever they feel is correct.
So, go ahead, Al.
Can I
please.
step in? Yeah, I want to get, thank you. I was going to ask. Before we start running around and having members of the board pick their friends and relatives, it occurs to me that just like the mayor, Your Honor, suggested that the DDA take lead on this, it seems to me that you've already decided on 15 people that you would like to see.
We strictly based it on what they do for a living and their years of expertise at that particular craft. That
But you also have
would be
from-
relevant.
No, each member gets to make a selection
That's
of
if
their
we choose
choosing.
to do that. This is the board. Rest. What I'm saying is just like the mayor said, the DDA has a lead on this because we know the city and because this is the stuff that we do. Well, not actually we, the board, but we, the DDA. And as we represent the DDA and not these people that want to go on our beautification, it seems to me that if you have picked 15 good candidates out of this, and you've covered East and West and Oceanside. Yeah.
Out of all the applicants, we have tried to cover every single thing that was available.
Well, it seems to me that if it was my choice, rather than just me picking 2 people at random, I'd rather have the team that works under you be your team that really works with you the best and that works with the DDA the best. And your decisions, I think, are much better than the decisions that the individual board members can make.
I'm also not prepared to give you 3 because I picked 15.
You're
So
going to pick from that 15 list, right?
So-
So everybody
No, yeah.
has the list.
Jim,
So the plan was to have everyone pick 2 people of this 27 group.
So the one thing I didn't, if I can interject here for
Sure.
a minute, as the chair, the one thing that was important to me was location criteria to both have from the east, the west, the north, the south. So we kind of
And the
covered
know-how.
all of the blocks. Unfortunately, I did not do my homework. I'm guilty. I was not able to go and pull all the addresses and look at them. Were you all able to look at the addresses where they're from, whether it's their business or their home or whatever else? Because I want to make sure that we have a balance of people on the board, not just, it's important for what they've done and what they can bring business-wise and so forth, but also I don't want to find out, as an example, that we don't have a number of people from the Western community and so forth, because one of the biggest things we're pushing right now is the western part of Delray Beach, meaning, and I don't mean western part, I like to say I-95 east to Swinton.
Correct, right.
And so it's real important to me that we hopefully have at least a couple of people from that area.
Well,
So-
based on the criteria that you approved, there is 1 representative per each district, which would be 1 from the Set, 1 from Pineapple Grove, 1 from the Beachside, 1 from South Atlantic. And according to their applications that we received, they listed whether they were from South Atlantic Avenue or the Set, Beachside, Pineapple Grove. So we
Meaning
did
there
have.
has to be 1 from each of those. You know,
Right.
if we get down and 1 hasn't been chosen, then from that district, then they automatically.
It doesn't have to be. You would
That's our recommendation.
Try
Yeah, I
to do
agree.
that to make the board
y'all
full.
would-
Laura, off the top of your head, if you don't mind, just simply because you know it better than I do, from the selections that were made, are each of those areas covered?
From what selections?
From the 15?
It's from there's enough for 15 people.
No, I'm not saying that.
chose.
Of the 15 that we
Yeah.
had discussed seem to be the most qualified,
The list
are
that
we
you
covering?
went through, yes.
Okay, that was it. I just wanted to make
And
sure.
then before we go through this, I want to hear from all the board members, just hear if they're in agreement with this concept, that's all.
Yeah.
But there's the key also, just so you all know, that there's definitely there was a lot of applications from the Beach Property Owners Association. There was definitely, we received almost 6 applications from that neighborhood district. And but we do have a very broad variety of contractors, landscape architects, historical perspective, public art. So based on all the applications, and if you all aren't comfortable making that decision now, I think then you need to go back and really review these applications, because from our conversations, I felt that there was, everybody was taking a really good look at these applications. But if they're not ready for that, then
I'll make a motion to table this till next time, if anyone wants to second that motion. And
why if we sent all these applications out on Monday, I'm not sure why. I mean, they were in the Dropbox on Monday, so I'm not sure why we're not ready now.
Well, I'm going to speak for myself. I've read every single one of them and made the suggestions that I made based on the fact that I have read every single one of them, and I brought that to you.
I'm happy to table that, but because I want you all to really read that. But
Yeah.
if they're in there now, so if I'm relying on you for next month to have reviewed these, I just want to make sure that if you need any more information from me, or if you want to go through them and sit down with me to do that, I think then that's something that I would highly suggest we do.
Maybe I wasn't clear. What I'm saying is, you picked 15
it's
with
not
Jewel.
my-
No,
it's not the
it's okay. I
resolution,
understand, but you reviewed them and you.
Al, you were
tried to-
clear. I would like to hear from
I
the
was
rest of
gonna
the
make
board
it-
members, please.
I was just going to make
Jason.
Point of order. We're going to be voting right now on whether or not we're going to be changing the way that we're voting for these candidates. Am I mistaken?
Well,
that's the
I
issue
think
that
what
we
we're
need to
trying-
address.
We would
Yeah,
need a
I think-
second for discussion, I think, on that. So if we,
Well, there's a motion to table on the floor right now. That takes precedent, so we need
right,
to
okay,
dispose
so
of that.
is there a second for discussion purposes?
I mean,
All right.
No.
Motion.
I guess.
Well, I wanted to make a motion that we approve the 15 choices that Jewel and Laura have gone over and made.
And Jim, do we have the list of the 15?
yes. No.
Right here.
I was going to go over that with you right now.
All right.
That's a lot to
You have all of the candidates in front of you. There's
Right,
27.
right. We just like to
have
know
a
who the
recommendation
15 who
of
the 15 are.
and we can go over each of them, and then we can maybe make a
Well,
decision whether we want more time.
What? Yeah. What? Go ahead. It's Jason had the floor.
Thank you so much. We should be following the procedure right now rather than amending this. I believe that we were asked to come in today with candidates in mind, ready to make nominations individually for these board positions. And while Al has made some awesome points, and I totally believe in everything he said, that is not the protocol that's been outlaid before us. And none of us are prepared, I think, at this time to change that. Delaying further this process is not something that I think any of us want to happen, right? Like delaying the beautification task force seems like a frivolous pursuit at this point. Sorry, changing everything would require time to digest it. What you said, I also agree with. Everyone here has great points, but I think following procedure and moving forward to advance this is the most practical thing that we should be doing right now.
Agreed.
That's all I have to say.
So I'll take that as a second for discussion. So is that so we at least can discuss?
I didn't hear a
it?
motion for
Okay.
discussion.
Yeah, so what's the second for discussion? What are we discussing?
So I guess I'm trying to understand. So you have a group of people that you have talked with Jewel about, and
so
so
everyone
forth.
we met
So-
with, we all went through the list and pointed out all the qualifications based on that. So based on our one-on-one, there was a discussion and going through based on Jewel's expertise, she narrowed down her 15, just as I think everybody else, from my understanding, has. So I think the key is for us to go through and nominate based on your selection of the numbers, and if they're selected twice or something, we'll have to move on to the next one. Similar, so we could start with Jewel and end with her, and everyone pick their. We can go around.
My
3
only
times.
concern is that they were spread out. That's all. And if they are, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
That's
they are.
That's all I was
They
concerned
are.
about.
The only thing that I was going to say was if it's okay, if we're all going to take turns about making those recommendations, I would like to at least name the 15, and then everybody else can, if those names are doubled or tripled or whatever. Is that okay, Quentin?
I mean, you can, but everybody has their own choice.
Oh.
Everybody has their own choice.
But
You don't.
Excuse me.
Well, I'm not trying to sway anyone. I haven't dissected it to narrow down the 15 to 3. I mean, I could do that now.
Well, I think you just mark them off as they're selected, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, or, yeah.
Then I'd like to go last. I'd like to go last, if that's okay.
You go first then last.
First and last. Because we're going to go around in a circle. 1. Let everybody do
One.
1. Right?
Yeah.
May I make one more comment?
Please.
I have no objection to her sharing with Al the list. I mean, I don't think that that's an issue whatsoever, like to advance his position and yours. I mean, that's not an
Can you
issue.
pass your votes to
He
Jewel?
wants to do it
if
anyway.
you
I'd like
want
to hear
or
the
no?
list.
Is that
Yeah, I'm
crazy?
fine with that too.
Yeah.
I mean, she's when he sat
I know
down
this
with
is
him.
new to us. It's like new to us. I'm just trying to.
Makes you
Put it out there now.
Okay.
All right, why don't we try it and see where it goes?
Okay. So I'm just gonna.
This
I'm
is
gonna,
all new
I'm
for
gonna
us,
list
I
out of
know.
the candidates.
All 15 that you guys have.
Exactly,
And so we
that-
can put and highlight.
Exactly, and you could disagree, agree, whatever you want to do, and whatever everybody ends up voting on is perfect. Okay, so one of the ones that looked good was the first one there, Bruce Leash, who is a landscape architect and city planner. He is based at 335 Southeast 6th Avenue. His specialties are landscape architecture, urban planning, neighborhood representative, south of Atlantic. So he seemed pretty good to me. Next one that I thought looked pretty good was Charlene Farrington. She is part of the Spady Cultural Heritage Museum. She's the executive director. She's based at 170 Northwest 5th Avenue. And she is historic preservation advocate. She is from the Set neighborhood. And I thought that was great. If you can scroll down, we have Jennifer Brugger, JMJ Signature Home Owner. She is based at 1210 Delray Lakes Drive, and she's a general contractor. Oh, no. I apologize. Swipe that. I was reading the wrong line. Okay, Joe Lucas. So please scratch that. I was reading the wrong line.
Page 1.
Joe Lucas, number 6. Page 1. He is neighborhood representative south of Atlantic. Laura, am I wrong here?
I don't know what it
Okay.
doesn't matter,
This
really,
is a
honestly.
different
It's
list.
your list.
No.
Different than yours.
Okay.
The one given today is
So
alphabetical.
pardon me, scratch those two. I don't mean to confuse anyone. I have asterisks next to a few names that we were considering if I wasn't number 15. So please forgive that. Okay, this one's a definite, John Miller. All right, John Miller is historic preservation advocate. He is based at 1502 Fenton Drive, Delray Beach, Florida. Okay, next definite was Josh Lerman. Josh Lerman is a civil engineer and general contractor. He is based at 65 Southeast 5th Avenue. And he's a general contractor, sustainability advocate, neighborhood representative, south of Atlantic. Okay, number 10, Kelly Freeman, Beach Property Owners Association. She's at 917 Banyan Drive in Delray Beach. She is a neighborhood representative on the beach side. Going down to number 13, Lucille Acocelia, I don't know how to pronounce her name. She is downtown hospitality, hotel representative, neighborhood representative from Pineapple Grove. Next, we have number 15, Matt O'Connell, creative design. He is based at 1535 Northwest. Is that supposed to be 2nd Ave? It says 22nd Ave. Okay, public art representative, resident, past downtown employee, and artist. Next, we have 17, Michael Trampus, Rental Resorts, NDM Hospitality, Falcone Group. And he's an EVP commercial strategy person. He's based at 13221 Alhambra Lake Circle in Delray Beach. He is a public art representative, downtown hospitality hotel representative, neighborhood representative from Pineapple Grove. Next, we have 18 Patrick Fogarty, Shoreline Building Group. He's a project manager. He is based at 250 Northeast 3rd Avenue, and he's a general contractor, project manager. Next, we have Rim Milunis, RSM Engineering, engineering for construction. The address is 3010 Salerno Way, Delray Beach. He's a neighborhood representative south of Atlantic. We have number 21, Rita Rana, Rotary Club of Delray Beach. Bar Terrace, 50 East Road, Unit 9C, neighborhood representative, Beachside, downtown. She's the president of the Rotary Club. Then we have 23, Samantha Varela Shireman. I think that's how you pronounce it. The associate director, sustainability consultant. She's an architect. She's a sustainability advocate, historic preservation advocate. She is at 1423 Gallinule Circle in Delray. And then we have 25, Tyler Roberts, the Mina Group, Bourbon Steak at the Seagate. He's the downtown restaurant owner, and he is based at 33 East Road, Delray Beach. And then we have 27, William Wilshire, who's a landscape designer and landscape architect, based at 2726 Southwest 5th Avenue, Delray Beach. And then we have the other one that I meant to, when I read those two lines incorrectly, my apologies, is number 12, Linda Purdo. She is a retired interior designer. She's part of the historic preservation advocacy. She's a neighborhood representative. And those are the 15.
Jewel, just for clarification, you don't personally know or did not meet with any of those folks?
I have never met, as God is my witness,
just wanted
on our
to make
flag,
sure the record's clear on that.
That I do not know any single one of these people. Never worked with them, don't know them, have no relationship with them, and I based it strictly off of mostly where the address was and mostly what they do for a living, because I think that's very important that they have either landscape knowledge or architectural knowledge or construction knowledge or project management knowledge, because anything that does get implemented into the city, these people can probably heavily weigh in on typical costs involved, typical time frames that are involved, typical aesthetic, what would be most desirable aesthetically and so forth, and then what they want for their neighborhood and what their neighborhood needs. So to me, those were very important criteria, and that's strictly what I based it on. And I asked Laura some simply because they may have had some very loose definition, like resident. And, you know, whether or not, and then found out that in some instances they had donated time and volunteered to the city for quite a long time and had dedicated themselves and shown a passion for Delray. Thought that was important. But I don't know anybody.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, just for the record. That
nope, that's fine.
These aren't your family members. So.
No, I don't know anybody. They're not family, they're not friends, they're not anybody, but they look good on paper.
All right. All right, thanks.
Before Brian goes, I'm counting 16, so I've got
because there were two that I messed up in the
Okay.
beginning, and that was I think
Joe Lucas was one, I believe.
I think Jennifer Brugger, number 5 and number 6 were
Number
not
6 is not.
right. Number 5 and number 6 were not meant to be on. Not that they're not wonderful people; they probably are wonderful people. I just didn't think they were as qualified as some of the other names that were listed.
Brian, please.
Legal counsel. Just to be clear, I haven't approached any of these folks on the list regarding the beautification task force. I do know some of the people on the list. Is that
no? That's fine that you know them.
I just want to make sure.
They all live in the city, so you it's expected that you may know some people that live in the city with
Yeah.
what
I just wanted to
you love.
clarify because,
But I just wanted to clarify with Jewel because I know I heard something from somebody that she met with them or something along those lines.
And for
that
the
wasn't
record,
case.
there are several individuals that did apply for this task force that also volunteer for the DDA as residents. So whether they're volunteering at like Kelly Freeman volunteers at the Visitor Information Center, and Lucille does as well. So there are different individuals that are residents of downtown or in Delray Beach that do have also applied for this based on their history and passion for our community.
So let me.
I just need to say something in response to what you just said.
In response to what? Who said?
What that you said.
Okay.
I live in this city. I work in this city. I dine in this city. I play in this city. I meet 1 million people all the time. If there's anybody that's ever crossed my path that knows me, that's on this list, then they know me from passing and meeting hello.
No, I
I've
understand
never
that.
met with anybody about this. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear.
It was very
Okay.
crystal.
Perfect.
Mr.
Excellent.
Chair, can I make my motion now?
Yeah, let me continue down the.
I was going to say make comments on my motion, but at least I'll get the motion out.
Okay.
Right. Anybody else?
Any comments?
I'm ready. I'm fine.
Okay.
Everyone that was on my list was on that list, so I'm fine.
So my motion is that we approve the 15 as the members of the Beautification Council that were picked by the DDA staff and Jewel.
Wasn't picked by the DDA staff. We
No, it wasn't
reviewed
picked by the
it.
DDA. So
We reviewed it.
I went over the list.
okay.
I went
Can we
over
have a second for
just to make it super
discussion,
clear.
please?
All I was going to say was I went over the list and made sure that the set was included, the East was included, et cetera, and then basically what they do for a living. And I read that list to Laura, and she said, I have no issue with that. That was really it. And said, oh, that person's volunteered time.
We have a motion on the
Case
table. Can I have a second for discussion, please?
no second here.
I would second for
yeah.
discussion. Yeah.
Okay.
So just to be clear, Al, can you just repeat your motion just so everybody understands what you're saying?
We have a second on the floor.
Yeah, I know, but it.
Well, the motion is that we approve the 15 choices from the chair of the Beautification.
Okay,
Board.
As we're under discussion, can you read the language about what it says from the number of people? Does it say a maximum number of people? Does it say, because I'm feeling a little bit of anxiety up here from a couple of the board members that may have some other people they would like to see on this committee. And with that,
I'll read it. The task force shall be comprised of 15 members appointed by the DDA, period.
do we have the discretion if we want to add another person or two to have a comfort level here with everybody? I'm trying to get a unanimous support. This is an exciting project. We should be all endorsing and so forth.
I just think we should follow the resolution that was set. We can all pick our people and let's get moving. I mean,
Okay,
we're ready to go.
and I just want to say one other thing, and wherever it goes from here is completely fine with me. I have no objection to that at all. I just want to see wonderful things happen for beautification for Delray, whether that's 27 people or 4 people. I don't really care, as long as we make great things happen that need to happen. That's my thought.
Take the whole list.
So to answer your question, yes, you have the authority to modify the resolution by resolution. You can't just do it on the floor. But you all
can't do it
chose
on the floor, but we'd have to have a motion to modify the resolution.
Yeah.
And then take action on that, is what you're saying.
Yes, but you all can do that. Yes, you decided on 15th after discussion though, so
Okay.
there was a reason. You didn't want it to be so unwieldy with the number of people that they didn't accomplish anything to help you all decide what recommendations to make, but you wanted it to not have as few members as normal boards so you can get more input from the community.
And this
So
is
there's
not
a balance.
required to have any number of people to show up, if I recall correctly, because one of the things I was concerned about is have a quorum, and we don't fall on any of those guidelines. Is that correct?
Correct.
So if 6 people show up out of the 15 people, we still have a meeting, that
Correct.
still business still goes on and so
it'll
forth.
be a workshop, like most of the meetings are going to be treated that way.
Okay. So we do have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there anybody, and again, I want to just give this because I'm ecstatic that we've gotten more than 15 people to show up and so forth,
Me
and I'm
too.
glad
Me too.
that there is. And I want to encourage you to have as much support as possible. And so if there's any board member up here that feels very strongly about somebody, I wouldn't have a problem with expanding it to add a person or two if that's what the, that's what I wanted just to ask, just because.
Well, I have one
Well,
I have just one comment to make, and that is when the discussion was originally starting at the commissioner level in a conversation about a similar group, the Commissioner Marker made mention that in business, the more people you get involved in a group, the harder it is to come to terms, the harder it is to come to decisions, et cetera, et cetera.
But I don't think that matters because I think they make a recommendation to Jewel. Jewel brings that recommendation to us, and we can say we like it, we hate it, and it's up to us as a board member to make that decision.
That's true.
And
Well,
so,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead, please.
Technically, they're just going to be fact finding, so they're not necessarily going to have recommendations. I want to put that out there for record purposes, for what the purpose of this committee is, just to help you all make these recommendations to the city commission.
Right, ours is still a recommendation, correct? Because somebody's got to pay for it. The buck's got to meet the road, right?
Correct.
So,
they'll formulate
Right,
recommendations to bring to the board.
Exactly. So this is one of the things I want to clarify because I think it's extremely important and it will prevent us from just spinning our wheels and going nowhere. Fact finding is important because we have to identify where the cracks are, right? And where, where the low hanging fruit is versus where the deeper pocketed items are, et cetera, et cetera. But I would imagine that part of the reason that we're being so strategic on which type of career paths and where people are coming from and so forth, as far as who should be on the board, is because their ideas and recommendations would heavily matter. They would be valuable. I mean, if not, it could just be any 15 people from Del Rey. But if it's going to be people that are architects, landscape architects, project managers, designers, city planners, zoning people, whatever it is, it to me it makes sense that their recommendations are heard because they're coming from a place of expertise and value. Am I wrong?
The one thing I just want to say is it's nice because sometimes we do know some of the people on the list and we do have an understanding of their knowledge base. We don't just know where they live and see what they do on the paper or their resume. So that's why I think each of the board members, based on how it was set up, should have their ability to make their votes. I appreciate your list. So I'd like to move forward because the motion on the table is that we don't get to make our decisions. So I'd like to move forward with what we were planning to do initially for the resolution.
and while we're still under discussion, can we confirm how many people are from West Atlantic? Because it's our biggest mission we're talking about. Is there more than one, or is there only one?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm an advocate for West Atlantic, even though I don't live.
Right.
I don't live between 95 and Atlantic, but I'll tell you what. I live all the way west, and I am a huge advocate for us making West Atlantic successful between 95 and Atlantic. And I also we could only base it on who applied. So we made sure that we picked somebody from the set because they applied, but we don't have lots of applicants from the
So
set.
is it just the one that we have? That's what I'm trying to confirm. That's all I saw on there.
Yeah, but it's based on, we only could choose from the applications we received.
No, I get it. I get it.
We postponed it and gave them more time to apply, and knowing that we really wanted to try to generate some more interest from West Atlantic Avenue. Just saying, that would be.
I'm okay with doing that too. I mean, I
think
don't.
we need to figure this out. If they didn't want to apply the first time, then that's on them.
Okay.
Well,
That's your
it's cool.
decision.
The only
Sounds
thing.
inclusive.
I'll. The only my
Everyone had the same
response.
opportunity to apply. No.
We extended the application
We did.
period.
twice.
We did.
All right, I'm ready.
My only concern, my only
I
concern,
know.
Cole, is that if somebody didn't take the time to apply, will they take the time to show up
Yeah,
for the
that's
meetings? That's the
very
only
true.
thing. Is if there's a passion to be involved, and then you're going to apply. And if you're going to apply and you're going to bother to be passionate, but you're probably going to show up. So I don't know how. I'm fine no matter what we do, but I do think that we're starting to see changes. Decisions are being made. New businesses are forming, and there's some very ambiguous things that we could perhaps help push in a great direction by making these recommendations sooner rather than later. That's my only thought. But more people, less people, doesn't matter to me.
Let the record also reflect that I reached out to members of the West communities directly, and I specifically sent them the invitation to invite people to apply to the beautification task force. I believe I sent this out to more than 15 people in that neighborhood, and this is the only individual that we have on this list. So I think at this time we should continue to move forward with the process.
I think we should clone that person.
I'm with you on that.
Well, she's very involved in the community, so I think she's a great resource.
No. Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the table. Call the roll?
Wait, you have to clarify this.
This is the motion with
This is Al's motion to approve the list you read into the record.
Okay.
What he said.
Bob Cantor,
Yes.
Cole Davids,
Yes.
Jim Knight,
Yes.
Brian Rosen,
No.
Jason Lecau,
No.
Joe Velarde,
Yes.
Alan Costello.
Yes.
Motion passes.
That's a great way to start.
So, okay. I think the other question is back to your point, and actually a discussion I had with Quentin around the number of people. So I think there opportunity to add individuals if.
I just feel like this should be a unanimous decision, and there's people up here that are upset about where we're at right now.
Well, then make
Motion's
another
passed, we're
motion.
moving forward. I'll support this board with whatever it wants to do. I don't think it's a great way to start off a collaborative way by not letting everyone pick the people they want to put on the board when it was set up that way. But if that's what just happened, I'm on and I'm supportive of this board. I just want to be clear.
For the record,
Exactly
also,
the same for myself. Thank you.
can we revisit this in a week and not change what we voted?
No.
No, excuse me.
What?
Excuse me. Let me say what I want to say. Next week, if there are people who really feel they want to add to the board, Quentin said that there's no reason why we can't add members. Can we add members next week if the board members?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, we can discuss it next week for just 2 minutes.
Next month.
And come
No,
up with
I
it.
don't want to wait a month
Next
or
month.
whatever else either.
Okay.
You know.
I really didn't realize there were people who were very adamant about their choices.
So I didn't realize that. I realized I felt a little bit of that, but I really would like to get a unanimous approval on here. So how can we get a couple more
We're ready to
people?
move forward. You have our full support. Both Jason and I have said we're in full support of the group. I don't love the way it got started, but we're in full support, and I want to see it move forward. If we want to talk about other members in the future, we can as a board, but there's nothing else on that subject I need to throw in at this point.
I unfortunately am going to add one more thing. We both respect. I'm not going to speak for Brian. I respect this process and I respect this board, and there were a lot of great opinions made. And you've made some wonderful opinions about this, and everything. All of our intentions, I think, are aligned. It's just simply about the process and how this went down. That aside, I'm very much ready to move forward, and the board has made a decision.
Okay.
Ditto.
Okay.
All right. I guess moving on then.
All right. Okay.
Quentin, I'd still like to find a way if we're missing 2 or 3 people.
I'm going to say one thing. The intention was simply to give us a head start in case. First of all, I didn't know how we were going to do it from the beginning. We were reviewing people and seeing to make sure that we got people from different areas and different skill sets. I had no idea that there would be, in any way, shape, or form, any kind of negative thought process about how we were going to start this. And I said it before, and I'm going to repeat it now. It does not have to be that way. I realize we just took a vote, but you want to add people, you want to bring people, you want to pick people, you want to do whatever. I think the only goal is that we do the right thing for the city, and however that comes about, I am completely in support of that.
Let's just do it. Want to do it again? We can do
It's
it
up to-
again.
it's
We
up
can
to
do it. If
you
y'all want
all.
to take another one, do it again, we can do it that way.
I mean, we
It's
could,
fine.
we can,
I just would like to have, if people feel very strongly about other people on the board, I'd like to have those people part of it. Plain
Or-
At this
or-
point, my most strong feelings are getting through this agenda because we've got to talk about salaries and our staff and a bunch of other things. And when we opened this discussion up, this was my concern. So we may not get through this agenda today because I do have things to talk about, but we'll continue however you guys want.
Okay.
so we can proceed that way. If we have time, the way hold on, Brian. The way the rules are, if you all want to discuss this before we close out the meeting, we can do that. But to Brian's point, we do have other items to get through that are probably a lot more important.
Let's
at this point
move
than
on to
this.
5C, please, then.
Very good. All right, so I'm going to turn this beginning part of our presentation over for the updates to Emily Oliveras, who is now taking over the board meeting responsibilities of, now that Suzanne is no longer here, and doing a great job so far.
My microphone works.
Yes. But we're also just going to show you just quickly just some highlights from July. It was a big month. Started out with a bang, no pun intended, with 4th of July. I think it's already there. No, not that one. It's the PDF. And also just to highlight our 4th of July, for us for 4th of July was really just about the decor. We did enhance Veterans Park this year. There it is, right there. Perfect. Nope, we're back.
PDF.
That one.
It's up.
No.
Not this one. Okay, no. Hit the minus. Sorry about that. It's okay.
Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it at all, believe me.
There we go.
Yeah, that's fine. There's 2.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that, guys.
All right, so I'm going to turn it over to, do you want me to click for you?
No, it's okay. Sorry, I just.
You sure? I have the clicker.
It's a lot of screens I'm looking at. Okay. Hi guys. This is just kind of an overview of some big wins that we've done for the past month of July. I can't believe we're in August right now. So our Feel Good Summer is still going on until the end of August of this month. Our summer shopping pass, we had 507 signups and 91 redemptions. That's that online mobile pass that you can sign up for. And we also are still doing it now for the Downtown Wellness Pass. That is promoting all of our spas, our wellness, our downtown studios and gyms, since that's usually the slowest time in the summer. And right now, it's still going on until the end of the month. We have 1,115 signups. That was last week that we had, so there's probably more signups, and there's over 100 redemptions. So people are using the pass. So we're really excited to see what Restaurant Month is going to be like, because last year it was about 4,000 signups. So I'm excited to see what those numbers are going to look like. And for our paid digital media, we had 3 million impressions, a little over 117 interactions, and we had some Palm Beach co-op programs where our click-through rates were a little above average. We had 6.2%, and I can't remember, I think it was like not even like 0.2 was like our benchmark, so we went over 0.35% for the travel display. And so this just ended May through July, our Brightline train takeover. I know you guys have seen this, but I just wanted to do a recap. I should be getting some more updated numbers, but right now, May 4th through June 30th, we had impressions of 3.2 million, And this again was a co-op with the Discover the Palm Beaches. So we had our investment and then that was doubled. So, and this was for the World Cup. And this is just kind of a visual what it looked like. This ran for 3 months and it just ended in July. And so it was, even though we don't have a stop here, we have one in Boca and in West Palm, and a lot of people are taking day trips. So a lot of people, when we met with our hotels, they were saying there was a lot of people that were visiting, especially during the weekdays, which is really interesting. And for our community activations this month, what was our strongest that we've seen, because we feel like we do so many events, our free Sunset concert was coming to the end of our summer, so the tribute to Boston Forever Foreigner was about 2,000 attendees there. It was a really great night, really great performance. In Art and Jazz on the Avenue, we had about 2,500 attendees and really great performance from Patrick Lamb, and we had, how many stages do we have? 2 stages?
2 stages.
We had 2 stages.
3 bands.
3 bands.
5 bands, sorry.
Right, I know. So there was like way more bands than we had
5
stages.
bands.
Yeah. It was a really great night, and the weather ended up being really fantastic. So, and 4th of July was a great, that was the most, it was our best social media post for the month on 4th of July. Got about 30,000 views, a little over 1,200 likes. And for the evening visits, we did some Datify reports just to kind of, or is this is data, this is
Placer.
This is Placer. And so we had about 16,000 evening visits for the beachfront footprint from that 6 to 12 p.m. I think that's be 12 a.m., right? And it was a little over 99 minutes per average time visiting that celebration. And 33% of the visitors visit at Opal Grand for that the fireworks. And coming up, we have Restaurant Month all month of September. We have about 50 restaurants signed up right now and counting. We have our RSVP mailers sign. They're going to be sending out in a few weeks with some of our restaurant logos that are already signed up and ready to go. Yeah, we're really excited about that. That's also going to be a part of our mobile pass that we're doing. So you can go on the mobile pass. It'll be up soon. You'll be able to check out all the restaurants, their prefix menus, all the deals that are happening all September. And then our merchant handbook is in the printing process and binding. So that's going to be coming soon. It's in the works. So that's all going to be coming soon. And yeah, that's the big stuff right now.
Do you want to switch over just real quick to Old School Square? We have, so just so everybody's aware, Mariska's on vacation, so she's not here to give her report, but we do have just, she did provide her report, and in the backups, in your backup packet, we do have full detailed printouts of the reports for you all. We just are highlighting this for the public, but you should have everything in the backup, very detailed. So.
Yeah, there's a lot more numbers.
You want to jump? You want to just run through this, and I'll highlight if you want me to.
We'll do some big wins for Old School Square. If I don't mind.
Okay, go for it.
So we had artist talk. Unless someone else wants to jump in, it was, I believe it was sold out. It was a very packed room. We had 3 different artists speak, and we're projecting to do another artist talk, hopefully, with the persistence of matter. Yeah, this would be the 3rd talk that we would be doing. So this is the first one that we did in July. It was really successful. We got $300 worth of donations and $1,300 worth in store sales that day, and over 100 people attended. Which was really cool. Pam did, our museum coordinator, she's not here, but she does these really great canvases that are really interactive with the community, and she did this Del Rey Doodles thing where it was kind of like a blob, and you kind of create your own abstract art piece, and a lot of people, no matter age or whoever you are, really enjoyed this. And specifically for social media, we got over 3,000 likes, of almost 2,000 shares, and 160,000 views. So we did really well with this post, and we're really doing well with we're kicking there to almost 16,000 followers, which is up 76% of last year. And our impressions are over 530% with 186,000. So our social media is doing extremely well. And WPTV, Let's Hear It, they did an entire day in the Cornell. 50 residents showed up and shared different stories. There were over 100 visitors that day. It was a very busy day in the Cornell. It was a really exciting day, and a lot of different people got to share their stories in the community, so it was really cool. And then we just have some things coming up in the Old School Square, specifically in the Vintage Gym. We have Delray's Hottest Party, a women's wellness celebration. It's all about the talk about the big M. That's what they call it. Free Full Moon Yoga is coming up. Party in Paradise, Delray's tribute to Jimmy Buffett. And a Kids Upcycle Robot Workshop. It sounds really cool. I wish I could go. And that's it.
Good job.
Thanks.
So just for clarification, so August at Old School Square, really in August in general, we're closing out our events at the end of the month for the amphitheater, and in September we're going to be going through some changes in the museum as we start our new fiscal year as we go into that. So the last amphitheater event is the 28th of August. There are just a very few rentals that we're managing this month and in September. So we'll see that as we close out the year. And then also, in addition to, we are on the 27th, we have the Sounds of the Set in August as well. So that's on the 27th from 5:30 to 8. So that'll be coming back, and then the next one will be in October. So any questions, comments? Thank you, team.
Well done.
I'll say, even without Maruska here, the museum and everything that she's doing over there, I'll mention, because I've been looking at budgets, second highest person paid in the DDA, but she earns every dollar as far as I'm concerned. So she holds up that, I think, just to say again, she's not here, you guys can share, but I think that museum holds up, Old School Square basically, and it's kind of like the centerpiece to it, and what she's doing out of it is great, and it's just a big part of keeping things going over there. And again, I'm just touching on it. I was going to mention at the end, but you touched on it. September, it's like we're not doing a lot. It's our last month, but we're out of money. So, we're managing the campus. We're doing events. Hey, anyone wants to do rentals? It's wide open for stuff. We don't have a lot of stuff booked, but community, citizens, residents, city, the reason there's nothing in September is because, we don't have the funds to make it happen anymore. So I'm not sure what the bigger plan is. I know you've been speaking with the city and they're waiting for their big plan to come back, but, it's just, that's where we are. And I just want to be really transparent about it so that when people come back and say, gosh, it's been kind of slow, it's not like, we know and we're doing our best. So.
Yeah. So the museum is open 5 days a week, So, and they're doing transition in the middle of the month because they're getting ready to open up in the October. But there's also some maintenance issues with the museum that are going to be addressed during September as we need to close up for a couple weeks for that. So
we're making the most of the fact that we don't have the funds to program. Right. We're putting funds into the space, cleaning it up, getting it ready for this next run. So that's our plan, but I just want to be transparent about it with the board because I don't get to talk to you guys and we talk about budgets and I whine about things and then with the community really just to kind of let them know where we are because this is everyone's asset as far as I'm concerned.
Great. Did we skip over something? I think we did. Oh, no, we got new business.
And it would be great to have the theater open.
Yes.
Would be.
Be great to have someone that wants to put money into the theater and run events.
Okay. All right. So do we want to move on?
Brings us to 5D, I believe.
5D. Yep. Because we have part of that discussion can blend into 6B when we have that conversation. All right. So our monthly June financials. So this is the financial report, and I apologize I didn't do a presentation for this. But we are, obviously, this is as of June 30th, and July, August, September. We have also still months to go, but we're very, as far as revenues, the tax revenue that's come in, we are very close to the maximum there. We still are receiving, on our DDA, we're still receiving some funds from sponsorship that are coming in. And as of July, we had vendor fees for art and jazz that will also be realized in July. So some more revenues to come in for the DDA. But everything else, as far as expenses go, are on track for all of our programs as we move into the summer months. And then is Old School Square. Again, the same the same thing. We are seeing some revenues realized from our program income, as well as some of the rentals that we're seeing. And we do have some donations, obviously, and store sales from the museum are significant. So, but our expenses are slowing down as we go, obviously, into the end of this year. So. And if any questions or concerns, I'm happy to answer. Other than that, I would take just a motion to accept the financials.
Board members, any questions, comments?
No. I'm looking at my quick notes, and I apologize, I don't have them in front of me. There was something, I think there was like a balance sheet in the packet that had a 2025 date on it, just to
okay.
make sure you update that.
Yes, you're right.
There were a couple other little things. Again, I don't have, I'm like looking at my cheat sheet because I don't have my other notes in front of me. I guess the balance sheet net income was 726,000 and change, and the P&L for October was like 915. So it's just something that wasn't tying.
It's so.
And
Yep. So the balance sheet's different. So the balance sheet, there is a carry. Do you have that specifically? Which one do you have? Do you have the balance sheet in the packet?
I'm looking at my notes because I'm just looking at whatever you had in my folder that I look at. Maybe things got updated, so that's why I was trying to look through to see if you updated it.
No, nothing's that was the balance sheet was provided with your backup, so it should be in your packet too. So
yeah, I'm looking at it as of June 30th, 2025. This is page 2.
Okay.
And page 1. Yeah,
Page-
the balance sheet.
the balance
Delray
sheet,
Beach
sorry.
Downtown Development Authority balance sheet.
Got it. So you said profit and loss as well. So as of under the page under liabilities, or is that with the
Well, I'm saying it's
unrestricted
got the wrong
assets?
date. I don't know, is
Net
this the
income? No, you're right here. The 25. I see that.
Yeah, but is that the right? Is it the right report, or is this the 20? Because this looks
No,
like
it
this
says
looks like
7/28/2026 on 3 under 3. It was updated at 3/24/7/28/2026. So just the
On
date
the top
is
left. Can you see
It's
it?
the top, the
left corner. It's hiding in here.
2026 needs to be fixed.
The middle of the
so.
balance sheet.
There's another page
Right.
that said 24-25
It
instead of
does. It says it
25-26.
as of 25. Yeah, that is incorrect. So
it's a
that's
typo.
That's a typo.
Okay.
But it is corrected.
All right.
And then you're looking at the net income.
Yeah, then and we can talk about after the fact. There's just like a couple things that didn't totally match up that I saw, but I'm kind of going from the fly because I didn't print out my hard notes. I'm looking at my phone notes.
Yeah,
right?
balance sheet has some carryover for the coming months, so there is some things that are realized. So I can address
Alright.
that if you want to email
No,
them to
it's
me.
fine.
we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
Get back to you.
Yeah, it's fine.
That would be great.
Again, I'm
Okay.
kind of like apologize. I don't have my printout with me. But that's it. That was the big one, was just the dates. And if we're
Yeah,
approving it, I
no,
want
I
to make sure I have the
appreciate
right
that.
dates. And then I want to make sure if we're looking,
update
if the
them.
dates are wrong, are we looking at the right information?
Sorry about that.
And then when it didn't tie in those.
Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Clarification. Yeah.
With the
With the
changes, yes.
clarification,
I
yeah.
was going to clarify that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Okay, so that brings us to the Old School Square fee waiver request for Witch's Ride. Is that where we're at now?
Yes, sir. And we have representatives from the achievement centers and children and families. So
Well, where's our witches' hats? Come on now. We need a little something to break it up here today.
How is everyone?
Good.
Well, I'm Sarah Martin, CEO and founder of Epic Events, and we are contracted with Achievement Centers to help produce their events, Witch's Ride being another one of those. This is also Grace Haviland, our VP of Events as well, and Stephanie Seiwell, CEO of Achievement Centers. Right? Isn't that CEO? Executive Director?
Yeah.
I don't know if I forget.
The furniture at this point.
Yes, yeah. She's. Anywho, we are asking for a full waiver of the use of Old School Square this year. Traditionally, this is a 15-year event. It has been held in downtown Delray Beach that entire time. We have never actually paid for Old School Square because we're just going up on stage and popping off. We're not, and it's during the day. I know that you guys did just change your policy. However, that did happen after we've already moved into the event permitting process, so we are not able to shift any plans at this point to accommodate for that additional cost, and it wasn't budgeted for this year either. So we're just asking that you would consider that for this year to waive the fee. And as you know, this is an event held on October 24th this year. We do drop everyone down right in the center of downtown, in which they go to all the bars and restaurants right after to celebrate. And then we also work closely with the Green Market that's downtown as well, which is generally around their first opening day, usually. It is there, okay. Sometimes it shifts and sometimes it's on the same day. So it's a good way to kick off their efforts as well. We are limited to 300 riders. The city of the police and everyone, to keep everyone safe, we are maxed at 300, and we've maxed that out consistently over the history of the event. So it does have a lot of demand, I guess you could say. And with that, Stephanie will talk a little bit more about the impact of the event within the organization.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here today. It's always tricky following a budget presentation, asking for a fee waiver, but we really truly appreciate the years that we have partnered and that you have given us a fee waiver. This event is our 15th year. It supports an organization that's been in the community since 1969. We serve over 500 children and families each year, and we do just so much good work. I know you probably get this request at every meeting, and everyone is doing amazing work. So we would truly appreciate it if you would consider, again, a fee waiver. I do have our impact report to share with you that is hot off the press, and I proofread it and only found one typo, so I won't point that out, and hopefully you won't notice. But I'll share that. But that really highlights all of the work that we've done just this past year alone, and we've got some really exciting things coming up. Our budget for fundraising at our $7.4 million annual budget, our fundraising budget is $1 million. We have three iconic events, if I may say so, in Delray Beach. The Delray Beach Home Tour, of course, this Witches event, and a golf tournament. And then, of course, lots of other donations and appeals. This event in particular raises, the ride alone, raises about $40,000. And we try to keep it really affordable so as many people can participate as possible. So a fee of I know it went up this year, I'm not even sure what it is, but would be, in future years, causing us to increase the rate for riders. So thank you again for your consideration. I truly do appreciate it, and happy to answer any questions.
So I know the first question is going to come to my right here. Brian, looking for a budget, I'm sure.
Yeah, they gave us a budget, actually.
Okay.
I did see in the budget that you showed, I think it was like net revenue was actually, I think it was like net income, not net revenue or something, a little thing. But I was fine with it. I thought you guys provided a good budget. So, in general, I'll just say, if I'm the first one to speak, I'm all for taking care of the Achievement Center. A great organization, been in Delray for long time, long history. As you also hear, we're totally broke. So we're not even doing anything really in September, which is a shame, because in the summers when we need to be driving things to the city, everyone likes to come in the fall. So what I discussed with staff and kind of where I stand is I'm for waiving the cost of the venue for you guys, fully. But we do have a staff that has to be there, and I just want to cover, our staff time there for the administration side. I wish I could waive that, but, that's basically kind of for this specific organization. And again, as you mentioned yourself, which I brought up with staff, the impact you're in today, it's not a setup, you're not there all, it's fairly light, and I do want to see the money go to the kids. So that's kind of where I stand, but I'll let the rest of my board speak on it.
Go down the line, Jason.
Thank you. What was the precedent that we set last time? Was that the structure that Brian had just mentioned, I believe? The cost of staffing and setup for the event, but the event waiver
It was just the 50%. There was no waiver. It was just continuing through with the 50%
We get 50%.
donation nonprofit rate.
That shakes out to more or less the same cost structure, though, correct? The
probably,
staffing
and what is
about
that
half,
number?
right?
It was it was about the same from the
Okay.
Muscle on the Beach to his one. Yes, they're both nonprofits, and so yeah.
Okay. I just want to be consistent with the previous standard that was set, more or less. I have no questions. That was great. Thank you.
So there is just a difference in the event, and I'll just clarify. While you do use just the stage, we have oversight that has to happen there based on the event itself. So we do have staff that's there almost about at least a half an hour before making sure that the place is ready for you all to arrive. I know sometimes you've been there on the stage before. We're there. So, but it does. So it's 5 a.m. or down that time till about 1 p.m. because I know the Kids Fest comes in. The Kids Fest is coming in right after you are finished.
We finish by 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
So we
okay.
arrive there at 10 o'clock and we're off stage by 11. Like we have to be 9:30 was when riders get there roughly, and then we're on stage 9:30 to 10:30, and then we have to have everything cleared by 11 so that the city can be on. So we're up there for about an hour. And yes, of course, we have loaded. If we can help with not the 5 a.m. arrival, we can preset everything on the stage and then just plug in like earlier if that helps lessen the staffing cost. That's an option,
Yeah.
or just load it there.
I think it doesn't. I mean, either way, with the use of the place, needs somebody.
Yeah.
Just to,
It's all or
just
nothing for the
it's
staff.
staff, whether they're there the day before. I mean, it's not just the day of too. I mean, there's obviously pre and post operations, just as part of our operational cost.
Does the city give us money for staff?
That's part of our funding.
I think part of the piece that's important to consider as well is just the timing of this, because we had already moved in with a budget that was approved in July by the board, and then this change was made, and then now we're moving into we can't shift any other cost at this point because it's primarily just police, right? It's a lot of police and supplemental things, but so we can't really adjust anything to accommodate for that additional expense that we didn't expect. Just from a timing perspective, I think if we had known earlier, but
I think just for the record, Sarah, that this wasn't a change. It's always been you've had to come and ask for a waiver. So you've never it's still reliant on whether the board. I mean, the board's was clear and based on basically our shrinking of funds.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think they had more conversation around this last month. So I think that's where the clarity came.
Jewel?
I was going to say, what is the actual cost of participation?
We're at what was it, 125? 125.
125. The only thing that I can say is I run a business that, even though we have a few token men, including my husband, we are predominantly women. And what I will do as my company is I will fund all of my girls and my staff to buy tickets from you and participate and help with some funding that way. So it'll be like a little donation from my company, but we'll ride. And that way it will help in some small little way.
We would love for your participation.
Okay.
Al, are you going to ride too?
Well, I'm going to lean forward, but I appreciate your timing in that you hadn't accounted for maybe some of this, but the DDA forgiving any fees for the property is as fair as we get, and with our financial situation as it is, and on the recommendation of staff, I still think and agree with Brian that the actual hard costs for us should be covered by you, whether you pay for them before or after the event. I know you didn't plan for it before, but either way, we have to pay it.
Yeah.
And they're hard costs. They're not costs that we can ignore. And as Laura said the day before, whatever, the planning, $1,500, that's the number, Laura?
That's the recommendation.
Then I make a motion to.
Well, I just want to hear.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I was at the end.
I agree with Brian totally.
So do I.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm in concurrence. Again, the hard costs
Now?
are hard costs.
Please.
Now, okay. I make a motion that we approve the request by the board, by the team in the memo to waive all fees and charge just for our hard costs.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Motion passes. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
We look
you.
forward to seeing you.
We'll be there.
Okay, so that brings us to the 6B.
I'm gonna be there with what you said.
Well, I'm thinking of becoming a woman and joining her team. And then joining the Women's Basketball Association.
Exactly. It's like you're not
Yeah.
the first one to jump on the
Yeah,
bandwagon. You're a little late.
Royce is 6'8", I'm 5'8". It'll be perfect.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okie dokie. So
This is it.
this is it. That sounds
Brian,
exciting.
get comfortable?
Oh, wait.
I've looked at some stuff.
All right. So what I wanted to do is just, and I know I provided you all with quite a bit of backup, both the business plan summary proposed for this coming year, as well as a proposed budget worksheet, the updated organizational updates, and which is not organizational, it's really comes down to compensation, and then Old School Squares business plan. So based on our interlocal agreement with the city to run the Old School Square campus, we provide them with a proposed budget and business plan based on our recommendations. This year, because of and I'll start there, before and I have just a light presentation to go through, help us kind of navigate through this discussion timeframe. So we just to also just kind of step back on June 17th, prior to our new board members joining, the board did meet and have with the staff and have detailed conversation around priorities just really based on priorities proposed for the coming year. Our property values that came through that would obviously set our potential of when our millage is set, what revenues would be, and then starting to build that plan and shape that plan. So as we're here today, this is obviously the conversation to help us shape the plan as we go forward. August, September is when we set our budget and have 2 public hearings. We'll have 2 public hearings at City Commission to present our budget. On Wednesday this week, we have our town hall, which is our stakeholder town hall, to also review our priorities and our details on numbers of how we move forward, and really share with them and gain input and feedback back from our stakeholders as well on our plan and priorities for the coming year. So with that, back to Old School Square. Old School Square's plan has also been shared with the city manager, and what they're recommending this year going forward in this current fiscal year is that $800,000 number, which we'll get to in just a minute. So just to outline in a summary from the detail is what some of our priorities are for the year based on your feedback, and also recognizing that it is a centennial year for Delray Beach as well as Old School Square. So taking time to recognize that, infuse that into what we do as we go into this year. We also note that West Atlantic Avenue, or the SET community and economic development there, is a priority for us as well. Obviously, beautification in action. You just did and created a big step for us to move forward with the beautification plan. So that will be the course this year as well. Organizational modernization, destination stewardship, which we are downtown and drives the visitation for our community. And all the hotels fall into our destination as downtown, so we have to really continue to stay ahead of that and chart that course as well. And as Old School Square is in our priority, obviously, this year, in summer programming is kind of a high focus. That's been like the number one thing that we continue to hear from majority of our stakeholders in the downtown area. So just as we set 2027 is 100 for a lot of things, one being Old School Square Campus, both specifically the Crest Theater building and the Vintage Gym in 1927. Both of those were added to the for a high school and for the gymnasium for the athletics. But Delray Beach is celebrating centennial of the combination of Delray and Delray Beach becoming one. So a big year for us and a great way for us to celebrate as well as recognize and maybe build really that everything new as we set for the next 100 years. So really jumping on with that. So jumping right in with the DDA this year, with our property values continuing to see an increase, and at the 1 mil, it is realize what we plan for our operating budget is that almost 95% of the collections will be received. So we forecast not the full 1% of the property value. We forecast as an operating budget slightly under that, which is the $2.160,703. Proposed sponsorship, just giving ourselves a little bit of an increase this year to hopefully capture some new sponsorship and program income that will help offset and be reinvested back into the programs that we create. So just a breakdown on the summaries as we top line, and these are our buckets, if you will. Looking at our marketing budget, staying really almost neutral for marketing and advertising for the downtown at $270,000. Economic development, we see just a little bit of an increase for that, or actually a decrease we'll see in that area, but mostly, and that's all laid down, is around economic development, is where our programs and events fall into. So the majority of that budget is around our economic development programs and events. Placemaking, the $555,000 is around our safety ambassador, beautification, amenities, and clean and safe. And then our administrative and operational expenses are almost in that 50% of $1 million level, $1 million. And then we have our grant funding, we're holding steady at $20,000. So that is, these numbers are, obviously in draft format. So this is when we'll go through them in more detail. But just a high level, where, as you know, in our budget, most of our marketing and advertising highlights, we have a very strong momentum and have been building that over the past 5 years, much to the success that Suzanne brought into, and now Emily and the team will continue to build upon. But really taking that and continuing to build our more robust destination marketing plan, highlighting summer and destination assets, and obviously our 100th anniversary. Also included in our marketing section is our visitor and resident experience, which is our visitor center and visitor center enhancements, which were proposed at our June workshop, potentially making enhancements to that space structurally to then connect it more to Atlantic Avenue. And then obviously district marketing enhancements, really focusing on our legacy businesses, our new development, a lot of changes that are happening west of Swinton to really spur that and tell that story of our community. Economic development section and vitality is obviously business development, really focusing on the set and our legacy businesses, especially with this 100th anniversary. Datafy is a platform that we're using now, and it really helps us with our spend. However, spend and visitor traffic. However, it's not as quick and probably evolving as much as Placer is, and we find that Placer can give us, and we can realize visitor traction within 2 days of an actual program or event. Where Placer, with Datafy, it gives us almost a month we have to wait for our information. So with that, there might be an opportunity for us to leverage both this year and being able to get spend, because spend is impactful to understand, especially as we look at in trying to recruit and also business retention. Placer can drill down to actually the locations for where we could go and compare to other cities. So that is one thing that they're also infusing AI, more of the AI to tell the story and the narratives which we received for 4th of July as a sample report. But there's a lot of good things coming from that. And as we go into September at the International Downtown Association, both of those organizations will be there, which will give us an opportunity to interact with them and bring back some ideas there. But Datafy right now is around that 14,000 spend for the year, and Placer is 15,000. Research and development, I do also feel that this is a very good time for us to focus on a strategic plan for the organization, especially as we're embarking in this new, obviously the visions for the city is coming and launching and being implemented. It would be really important for us to look at an upgraded and updated strategic plan for the DDA. As we said, the grants, and then obviously our events, which are very impactful in bringing people into our community to continue to drive the economic engine. This is a outline of our events, and I'm not sure where Jules went because I know she has a strong passion for Fashion Week, and as it's something that helped spur our retail, and it has been a request from many, several different requests in different meetings that we've had of when we're bringing that back. But you can see here, this is our list of, we have Small Business Saturday, which is in November. We support the city with the tree lighting event, the actual street event. And then we have currently Art and Jazz on the Avenue. We do 3 times a year. Those events themselves are run about $30,000 to $35,000 each. The Derry Beach Open is something we started last year, more significantly, in partnering with the Open itself and incorporating a window decor contest, some other activations around the destination. So we'll look to do that again this year. It was very successful. Savor the Avenue is in March. It's our dining event. We do 12 First Party Art Walks, which is once a month. And that is our gallery walk. It's been about 25 years in running. Our Orchid Giveaway is our retail incentive for around Mother's Day. And our summer campaign, which you heard the results today, was really how we infused the past and really focusing on our wellness. It's when we turned last year, started more of a wellness focus for summer to be more constant and bringing our locals back and bringing people back into downtown. But really looking at this year to bring some and how we activate Old School Square and really bringing in more activations that really help spur our summer months. And Restaurant Month is in September. We moved for that from August to September based on September being our really bottom of the bottom months. And also with August back to school, we were seeing a little bit of change there, and was a request really from the restaurants to move it to September a couple of years ago based on that, to help spur that change. So it's in September now, and we'll, again, with all of these events, we want to get feedback from people to see what's working, what's not. With the Art and Jazz in Pineapple Grove, we really got some good feedback, but we really want to reimagine that, and thought that this would be a great time to really reimagine all of these with a centennial kick and theme.
And bring back Fashion Week.
I was waiting. I was stalling as I was like, "Where is she? This is your point." So, so looking at opportunities, and again, these are all business driven. So, Fashion Week is a huge lift, but it is something that is business driven. And if the businesses are participating and want to participate, and that's a requirement. Otherwise, it's something that it can't happen. So that
I'm asked all the time.
And
all
when
the
it's
time.
coming back, with all the new retail that is there, and the one thing that we can look at it and bringing it back. It is we have to make some type of adjustment based on.
Bring back Fashion Week. Get a bunch of people invest in it. It can be sponsored.
It was. If I
Okay.
recall, the Aloft Hotel was a big sponsor years ago.
We always had sponsors, yeah.
Aloft,
And,
Colony.
And so maybe it's time to go knock back on those doors again. And
Well, we could go back to the original and do it in front of the Colony Hotel, because since it's 100 years old, that could
I
be a
think
nice
that would
backdrop.
be an amazing idea, and I have to look at our own personal budget for donations and things like that, but I'm pretty sure that my company can also be a sponsor. I don't know how big a
Are you putting
sponsor.
that on the record?
A
Okay.
sponsor.
Well, I think that's the thing. So we do have, as I said in the beginning, sponsorship is, part of, we've been really successful at capturing our strategic partners, such as International Materials and some of these year-long partners that help us do more. And I think it's really important for us to continue. And if you all can help us with that, that would be fantastic. I do think just bandwidth-wise and how we would look at this is really looking at, with art and jazz itself, one significant area that what we've done is with the one that's on West Atlantic in February does bring a strong crowd to that neighborhood. And then beachside, we did hear from our beach hotels on. We met with them last Wednesday, and the significance and the importance of 4th of July and importance of events like art and jazz on beachside does make a difference for them. So I think for us is, can't forget about the beachside neighborhoods. Pineapple Grove is also, but again, if we're having to make some shifts on things, I would, if we were making any changes, we could bring that back to you, what that would look like. But that would be my recommendation, is to maybe limit art and jazz, one of the art and jazzes. Okay, and then obviously increase sponsorship.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
If one of the three
Mm-hmm.
art and jazz events were to be removed, would that be enough to turn around and bring in Fashion Week? Or would there need to be other adjustments?
I would have to look at what that Fashion Week looks like for us and what we would program based on what we would require or ask and request, other businesses to do. Because in the past, other businesses have picked up different events, which makes it a week. So it would just really go back to, we went back to the basics and bare bones. Yes?
If I could, just because she brought that up, can you combine the East Atlantic Avenue, which is the one in downtown, the art and jazz?
We're not doing that one this year.
Can we combine that with the Fashion Week?
Oh,
and
maybe.
make it both?
Art and fashion.
Yeah, art and jazz and Fashion Week,
Yeah.
and we do the whole Ave from Swinton to right to the bridge
Yeah.
on this side.
Okay. Well, we can bring back some suggestions to you all, or get sooner than later as we go into final adjustments. But those are good points. That's great. And then obviously placemaking, which is our place, taking care of the place, beautification task force. That's our top priority. Our safety ambassador and enhancement. So this program, we will be bringing back to you all as a board just to review the entire program and looking at ways to truly enhance the program. I think it's been there for a long time. We're looking at other cities and other municipalities, what they're doing, and I think it would be important for us to bring that back to you all as we go into this year to make some adjustments to that. And our street pole banner program, and obviously, all of these things, our lighting updates, and we have beachside, as well as the oak trees along from Swinton to Federal Highway. All of that lighting needs to be updated. They're all at their 5-year term, so we're going to be doing that as well. And then our public art management, we have a lot of public art out there that is old and dated and damaged. It needs to be removed and replaced, or just removed. So we are actively looking at that. And we also have the observations mural that was done and removed from the old camera shop that is in our possession to be reinstalled on a building, and we have had interest from the Hampton Inn. It was originally supposed to go on the camera shop. It doesn't work on the new camera shop, so the Hampton Inn has reached out to us with that opportunity for us to partner with them and get that reinstalled, which technically is in Pineapple Grove still. So, And then obviously Veterans Park, we're continuing to meet with that committee, and we'll be bringing some updates and recommendations in early October. So team highlights, obviously at our last meeting, we brought to you, and based on our June workshop, was to review and provide an recommendation regarding our team payroll and how as we assess what we're looking at as far as our staffing and strengthening the operation. And I provided you all with a backup and full plan in your packet of outlining the structure. And on the screen here, I have the full org chart of the entire organization. Green is Old School Square, and the purple and pink is the DDA team. Obviously, we're all one unit, but green is funded through the Old School Square funding, and the pink is funded through the DDA funding. So clarifying that there's, I am the only person on the team that is overseeing both. And with the operations, with the new structure, we would look at, obviously, with the enhancement of a strategic operations manager would oversee operations for both as well, however, would be funded by the DDA. Just as long as we're in this, if we're moving through this year with purchasing, procurement, contracts, a lot of things that happen through both organizations needs that stewardship as well. And so that is, kind of realign. Also in your packet, I did provide you with job descriptions with enhancements based on looking at that, rethinking it, and how it's really working today. So continuing on before we jump in, if you want to jump in, if anybody has questions.
Continue. Let's finish
okay,
there,
all right, good.
please.
All right, so I just want to jump into Old School Square plan of priorities. One of my suggestions in the plan that I provided to the city is that going into, and I know the board has been very vocal about this, but as we start our year in October, we would need to start with funding because of there is no very, very little, if any, carryover. As of September 30th. So we will need to have that in an agreement that we would receive partial funding to at least, so that way we can start committing to programs and events as we move forward. And then as we're moving into this year, knowing that there's a feasibility study that's being presented to the City Commission over Old School Square campus and the operation and management. But we are still there. It's important for us to continue through this year based on our responsibility and commitment. So we've kind of developed a plan. It's a moderate plan, but it still will do the job with keeping the museum open and bright and amazing, and with a great plan for exhibitions, as well as activating the campus. Outlining the budget at a high level, you'll have, this is revenues, so our forecast with the $800,000, which is an increase over this current year of $100,000, keeping donations consistent to where they've been based on museum income. And then sponsorship, our goal would be obviously to increase that. We've already have some interest, which has been great. But really that's where we really could benefit from contributions and sponsorship to help underwrite a lot of these programs that could happen. Venue rentals is really, really strong this year, and a lot of repeats, as you can see, but there are quite a few new coming to the campus or expanding. A good example is that we have the Cruisapalooza that has been on campus for now almost 5 years is now expanding to 2 days. So while these are great things that see happening, it does impact operational costs. So the rentals will help offset some of that, but it is, Old School Square venue management on the operation and administrative through the contracts, the insurance collecting, vendors, all the paperwork that needs to be done on the front end to the actual on-site management. And then our program income, that is concession, vendor fees. So concession revenue that we would get from any programs, ticket revenue that we would receive from any ticketed events, vendor application fees. This is higher than traditionally because we already have art on the square as an option that Maruska is leading, and it would be something that she knows will make money based on the vendor application fees and other revenues that will come in from there. So priorities obviously remain maintain a consistent operation in the 3 areas, a realistic mix of exhibitions and community programs and events, change programming to be ticketed. So we ran a lot of free this year based on some of the major feedback we received, but it's going to be really important for us to gain some ticketed revenue from our events, even if it's at a lower ticket price. It's just be really important for us to capture some to offset expenses. And then obviously, as I said, our vendor rentals and the inquiry management and increased contributions and sponsorship. And then obviously here's our expenses right down to the button. And our amphitheater expenses, again, this is based on a plan for activations, filling gaps, mostly focused on summer and centennial. So if we're doing any type of centennial celebration on campus, obviously we'll want to lead with that. We haven't moved forward planning anything yet, and we'll be very safe with that plan. The lower impact events, the full moon yogas, the movie nights, those are lower impact, traditionally free or with donation. Those would be great sponsorship events, but those are considered really lower impact. The big impacts, which are our concerts, those are $25,000 to $30,000 every time we put a show on there, and you can only do so many of those. So I think it's really important for us to keep that in mind and be selective. We did have outreach from a now touring local act that wants to come back, has seen how successful Old School Square has been, and they want to come back on stage. As many people want to come back on stage, but there's always a fee. So we're looking at creating an opportunity that will help all of us as we go into the winter. Tree lighting and the Christmas tree will be going up in October, which starts to limit anything that can happen on the campus. And then the tree will obviously stay there for the whole month of December, and then will come down in January, followed by the resodding of the grass. So that also limits the amount of activity that can happen out there during that time frame. So again, we focus a lot of what we're doing, and we're going to fill in gaps where possible based on our plan. And I basically said all of that, and now we can have discussion. So from my perspective and our team's perspective, I think it's really important for all of you, just for us to hear from you, just your feedback on all that we've prepared for you, and if there's things you want to see changed or suggestions you have, or things that can continue to make us better, I think that would be great. I think as we left last month with the organizational structure, looking at that, going into detail, I'm happy to have a lot of discussion.
And we do have a hard stop from the vice chair here. It's got to leave at 3:00. So if we could try to stay on point with our comments and so forth, and we know that DDA does a great job and everything else and so forth, but let's just try to stay right on point with all the discussion so we can move through this in a timely manner. And we'll start with you, Bob.
I don't even know where to start. Let me finish up.
I had one comment that I talked about with Laura. One of the positions proposed seemed repetitive. I think you scratched that from this positioning. I think.
Wait, say that aloud, because I want to make sure that they hear what you're talking about.
Which was that position, please?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's on this one, but just one of them seemed repetitive. It was like a day-to-day management.
From the older structure?
Yeah.
Oh, the office, yes.
Yeah, there was an office administrator where it
we took
seemed
that
like,
off.
you know,
So
the
what you all
operations
have
manager.
is what we've changed.
Okay,
to,
so that's since been struck from this. You know, obviously we want to be competitive to pick up good people. It's kind of necessary. We're at a you know, kind of a short group of people at the office right now, so we need to, you know, move forward with this. I kind of trust their opinion on this. I mean, this is not my expertise, but they know better than I do.
Ryan?
I'm gonna wait and just hear from everyone else to hear what people have to say. I'm still getting my thoughts together.
Okay.
Jason?
I have, I believe, 2 or 3 points, questions. So the first thing is regarding the roles, responsibilities, and qualifications on the jobs proposal. The event coordinator is a part-time contractor, and we had discussed briefly consolidating the part-time into a full-time position. That was the office administrator, correct? That we were merging those two positions.
So you and I, when we discussed, there's a project coordinator. So we turned I looked at what we were doing and said, okay, where we could really have a better opportunity was with the project coordinator could help instead of. I mean, we're a small office. Having an office administrator is not necessary. We're all working really collaboratively together. But and with an strategic operations manager, that would be able to help that. But you said. Maybe with the project coordinator and with event experience. So we have an event coordinator as a part-time that would do logistics, but you'd recommend, and why not look at
when we hire
combining
someone
those
for
two?
part-time employment, you're blocking them from getting full-time employment at a different rate for another job, typically, unless they're going to work 60 plus hours a week. So if we have an opportunity to pay someone a living wage and bring them on full-time because we have 2 part-time opportunities, or one that's sort of quasi part-time and the other that is definitely part-time, then we could possibly merge a different duty, like one sub-duty of that job, and consolidate the 2 into a $60,000 or something $1,000 a year salary. There's an opportunity to save $5,000 to $10,000 while also providing gainful employment for one individual where they wouldn't have to seek another job. So that was the one comment that I had regarding this. Otherwise, everything else looks solid based on what we discussed for roles, job duties, and the breakdown. The other point that I wanted to bring up was, and I'm not sure how open to navigating this is a lot in terms of the budget, but specifically on the Old School Square budget, what I'm looking at is the expenses here, and what it looks like is specifically under the payroll, the administrative expenses, I'm seeing that campus security is down by by more than half, and then the administrative and facility expenses are down by about half as well. So I'm just sort of wondering where that's going, like where those resources are being allocated differently, because those two seem to be very critical features probably for the venue. That is one question that I had, so if you don't mind answering that.
Sure. So campus security is additional security for special events specifically. So they fall in when we're doing a concert or we're actually activating something. So with us limiting what we're doing, it limits what their need for that. Also with our safety ambassador program that is on Friday and Saturday, we have 4 officers that we've currently deployed that are on campus both of those days based on conversations with our city partners of having a need to have them there during that time. So they're there. So that's being offset really with the Downtown Safety Ambassador program. But, and then the administrative expenses is also down based on office expenses, or those are really again based on the need. So we're aligning those into if there's things that are purchased from there. I mean, administrative is attorney fees, and we've been really good at being able to manage our attorney fees for Old School Square. So administrative, that's where some of those costs go up, and early, obviously when you're comparing it to 24, 25, there was a lot more involvement there. But we've adjusted those and reallocated them into our museum expenses, some of those administrative fees.
Okay. So the last point that I have is regarding the expenses surrounding sort of marketing, the amphitheater in the park. There's a story I feel like that's being told here with this statement, which is that it's like in the sunset period for the DDA's management of Old School Square. And I think that, when we're seeing the marketing budget go from 178 to 145 to 136, and the amphitheater in the park going from 540 to 325 to then hovering at 335, and then revenue obviously is maintained at 800,000 plus, and now you're trying to source revenue from different angles. There's no business that's existing right now that has costs going down. There's nothing. So it's not that it's not that you're being competitive. I mean, I'm sure that you're being extremely resourceful, but it's also that this is a wind down, is what it feels like to me. And I think that we need to all start to have that discussion about what that looks like in the future, because I know that no one here wants Old School Square to be closed or lights out. And, I'm very new to this dialogue, obviously, but that needs to happen, because this is a new budget getting proposed, and it's basically just the board here accepting the fact that there's going to be less of an investment and less activity. And if that's the direction that it needs to go in for the changes to occur in the future, then I think that we need to compel that forward, or we need to at least make a plan. So that's what I have to say. Otherwise, everything else looks good.
Jewel?
I had a crisis that just came in from the office and I had to respond, so I don't want to speak out of turn.
You okay?
Yeah.
Al? Yeah, I have no crisis. What Jason said at the end is, well, it's the same conversation we've had for a long time. It constantly comes up. He's eloquently looked at the numbers and seen them go down in one direction and up in another, and I don't know that there is an answer, and I think that discussion really probably needs a workshop, Jason, in my opinion, something really dramatic. With that in mind, and the fact that we still are operating the Old School Square without the theater, I don't know where to begin. I'll start with the staffing. I've been involved now for 10 years with the DDA, and I've seen Laura build, in the 10 years, a staff that's amazing, that's delivered amazing results, starting with a half-time employee. I'm pretty comfortable with your choices and how you arranged the management, architecture, and an employee here or an employee there that's part-time going to full-time would be great, and it's wonderful. But I think you're talking about part-time DDA and then part-time Old School Square as well. Share like one person that does both.
No, well, not particularly for this. No.
Okay.
Yeah. It would
All right.
be-
Well,
There are both. There are part-time for both, but they're not
I thought
particularly based what Jason was speaking
I
about.
thought it might have been Mavis being split in half.
No, it's no. These are just roles, but yes. Yes.
Okay, well, I saw it, I read it. I think the salaries do need to go up. I think all the reasons that you've labeled and all the incredible descriptions of how the staff performs, what their jobs, it was debilitating for me to read it all, but I got through it, and it's pretty impressive. That being said, the Old School Square budget, what I hate to see is if we are operating it, and before we have any workshop or conversation, we are operating the Old School Square. And the numbers that we're using at $1,050,000 as the budget, which includes only $800,000 from the city, and I'm glad to see they came up $100,000 from last year, which is great. But the first year we started, there was a $1,400,000 budget they promised us, and after that promise, they knocked it down to $1 million that same year, and we lost that $400,000. And as Jason said, I don't think costs are going down for any business, certainly not for mine, and we should have been operating from $1,400,000 and probably trying to maintain that without going up let alone the 800,000 and struggling with the other money. I propose, well, I have several proposals. One is that we consider asking the CRA and the city to help us fund the ambassadors. We did that in the very beginning when we conceived the project. Everyone was up for entertaining that. The CRA had its own problems. The city and the CRA had their problems. They were busy throwing out the board and bringing in a new board, and we somehow dropped that conversation, and we've just funded the ambassadors on our own. It's $330,000, I believe, a year. Mm-hmm. It's substantial. That money could be used to maintain a far better schedule at the Old School Square. And you wouldn't be knocking down and eliminating events and fighting for every dollar. And I think the DDA funds should be relegated. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, $1,050,000 is what we've got, and $1,045,000 is what it costs. Then I suggest that we do $350,000 somehow, although I think that's a substantial figure, and I don't know where it comes from exactly, but that brings our budget to 1.4 and allows you to operate the Old School Square as it's intended, as we had intended, and as the city had wanted us to do from the beginning. And it would allow us to help the city with certain costs involved in the property that are a struggle in terms of rehab. And otherwise, I hate to see the reduced schedule at the Old School Square. And I'd love to find another way to finance it.
Bob, back to you.
I think that I've always thought that the ambassadors should have been partially funded by the city.
Yeah.
And I never really understood why it seems like the city benefits from that dramatically. And I haven't been here, so I don't know exactly what discussions were had. But, you know, if we at least got a 50% contribution, that would go a long ways to helping to heal some of this. I'm very sad to see the downward trend on the support, and I think we have a great momentum going, and it appears that that we may lose some of that because of lack of support from the city. So, you know, my one comment would be we need to address that with the commission and find a way to get some relief for the ambassadors. Just my thought.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the other, 200,000 would come from, because I can't find any resources that we would be able to tap into that are available
Mm-hmm.
right now. But that's one that we should go after very heartily.
Brian?
Are we talking about everything from Old School Square to the budgets and the new positions? This
Mhm.
is a whole
Looks like
lot.
it.
It's all a discussion.
Everything.
Yeah,
I'm taking my jacket off and I can see.
All right.
We've
So
got
that-
time.
I guess there's a couple things that, again, and what's the total operations budget moving from what it is now to the proposed? What's that proposed number where you're
So
looking at?
in our-
Because I
in
had a
the-
couple different ones I was looking at, and I wasn't one. No, for staffing. We'll start there.
So for our proposed total,
630 was 28.6% of the total gross.
I want to hear from her because there's a couple different numbers in here. And I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right one.
so this document is really where you're,
Which
so
one's
in,
that?
on the
handout.
proposed adjustments, you have based on,
We were at 477,000 before, right, for an operating budget? Is that right for the
that
staff?
was
Previous.
previously.
And what are we looking for now?
Now, based on my numbers and what we've come at is 563,200, not the 621.
Okay, not
So
the
it's-
621, not
no.
the 747.
No, that
was an older
so
one,
this,
too.
So on your that would be your top level based on, and I took an average for the budgeting format based on a mid to lower range, so may add an average, not the highest level. So based on our operating, what we can support this year, and maybe it's a gradual approach. So based on the payroll would be an increase. We're going to actualize at 457,000 this year, and to an increase to 563.
So it'd be about like $110,000.
In this document.
Let me see which one. Let me make sure I'm looking, 'cause
Actual
it'll help me
budget.
make sure like my questions are on point. I apologize.
Other one's just proposed plan, because it has in from the lowest to the highest of your range. So to create a budget, I've taken,
Was this a new handout that you gave us today, or is this in our packet?
no, I gave it to you at our one-on-one.
What page are you on, so
Yeah,
we're all
that's
on the
what I
same
wanna find,
page?
yeah.
I am on page 3 of 10.
In the packet, there was a number of 630,000.
Yeah, that is,
28.6%. Because I thought it was the wrong percentage, but it was correct.
right.
So-
So that is, and then from there, it's taking and actually working numbers based on the recommended increase proposed from me would be 563,000.
28.6% is great, amazing.
Which would come in, so it's also taking into account not having an increase from me.
Right.
So and adjusting, because right now my range is, I'm in that range.
Mhm.
So this is really about adjusting and level setting. The operations, changing the position and enhancing the operations managers to be almost like a number 2 position, that is where that salary increases.
And that doesn't include any of the consultants, like Susie wouldn't be in this,
No,
right?
this is totally that line 23 or 37.
Gotcha. Because our consultants, like Susie, I know if we use her hours, it could be up to like $80,000 total, possibly if we used her for 20 hours that we kind of have allotted.
50 weeks.
So, again, I'm trying to keep in, when I look at our stuff.
Yeah, that's not happening. We're not. It's not a year long. It's
Right,
now
right.
with that.
But it just says that's kind of,
contract.
right. But they could be if we needed her a bunch,
Well, that'll be in a budget adjustment.
And then the other thing was, I know there was some, I know we're adding on, which we need to, some financial, like accounting systems and staff, which is good. I know that our external costs the prior year were like 20,000 budgeted. I think we spent 50. Are we going to be lowering some of those external costs then if we're
Yeah.
bringing in our internal? Because I don't know if that translated on what I saw, but I just wanted to make sure that kind of
Of
is
course,
a savings
yep.
to help. If we're bringing in someone to help us with our numbers,
So
we'll
that-
use less external.
Right. So to that point on your document, this document, the financial payroll is in that person's in that number. Or in that line. Sorry, the
Oh, both of them
right.
are.
But no, it would just be one.
Oh,
so
just the
it-
one guy,
Mhm.
All right, or girl,
Or
to be fair.
person, yes. So that is that, and that would be for both Old School Square and all financials that come through the DDA.
Got you. So I'm looking at my phone.
currently-
I don't mean to be rude. I didn't bring my printout, so I'm looking at my PDF. I apologize that I kind of put together for my notes. Well, I guess I kind of want to hear a motion. I mean, in general, the Old School Square, I don't want to, I don't need to go on about it. I just, we are kind of in this phase where we don't have the budget. It's like a slow death, I feel like, and we're trying to keep it alive and make sure we give Bernie to someone. I'm like, we're carrying around Bernie right now, and we need to bring him to the party, and I don't know where the party's going to be, and we need someone to host the party for Bernie. Bernie's Old School Square. That's my new metaphor for today, but yeah, it's not great, and again, I hate to be the ones left holding this beautiful asset as it's kind of going to the wrong direction. So I think we're doing everything we can. I'd love to see some more support on it from the city, some ideas. Anyone in the community that wants to come out, anyone outside the community wants to come out. So that's Old School Square. I think we're doing a great job with it, with what we have. It's just we're being put in a really rough position.
Yeah.
So that's
No.
my feeling on Old School Square. And I think your staff numbers, I was looking at the whole package and the ranges, but I think what you're saying basically, so I would wait to hear the motion, seem to kind of fit, and it seems like we're shrinking some of the overlay, and again,
It's the goal.
I looked at the big number. I was like 621, 500, so I think it's coming together. And again, you guys did so much work on this. You did a great job, and thank you for putting that all together. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well,
I don't know, do we
And-
have it, do we have a motion? No.
Mr. Chair.
What's that?
We
do
don't
not?
need, we don't, I don't,
This
this is really
this is
discussion
discussion.
to help.
Discussion, so,
Yeah.
okay, so this is not for the, not
This
for
is
the
helpful
motion.
because we'll come back with, and I'm happy to work on this now to provide adjustment for you all ahead of time, so that way you can review, point out, we can meet, talk about it, go through things. But it's really helpful for me to get your, and so if there's something that you didn't talk about today and you want to share with me via email, that would be great. But good, thank you.
So I have a couple of comments. I'm going to start off with the security, the yellow shirts, so forth. I know, and Jeff can probably pipe in on this, with what's potential coming up here in the election.
Yep.
I understand there's a rewrite of the language, that the language was not acceptable. What's that? Well, okay, well, I can't help but get hit in the nose with it. Anyway, there's been a rewrite of the language, so forth, and actually, you want to chime in right here? You know better than I do, please. I'm reading the mullet wrapper, so that's all I'm getting it from. You probably getting a much better source, so
No,
please.
I'm not aware of any change from what you're saying at this time. They had 10 days to rewrite. They also can still appeal the decision from the judge. I'm not sure if there's been a decision by the state on that at this time. If there is, I haven't heard it yet. So that's still.
It's certainly squeezing down. If he has to get many more rewrites, it probably won't end up on the ballot, potentially, correct? The other comment that I had about that is that my guess, and I may be wrong, I mean, when we look at the DDA and our 1 mil, right, we're not affected that significantly because of how few homesteaded properties that are sitting in our area. Whereas the city is probably affected to the greatest extent, and somewhere in between what affects us and affects the city to is a percentage is probably a greater than us but smaller than the city is the CRA, right? And so I think just to sit here and say, hey, we want the security, the group out there that are doing everything, and they do. I mean, we hear it from the police department, we hear it from the businesses, we hear it from everybody that this is a very critical role that's being played and so forth. So I would hope that if there's any money to come towards it, and Jeff, you could please come up to the podium, I'd love for you to tell me is, the percentage that we have, I think we were less than like 20% or something like that. Is that correct? And if you look at the actual amount, it was like 5%, 7% of our budget, correct?
Yes, it's very low.
Almost nothing. So we don't get
There's-
whacked hard.
There's only
if we
300
pass
properties.
this. Correct.
We get whacked.
Right. I figured that much.
And the bigger problem with our budget is there's so little of it that's actually discretionary.
Right.
So that's part of the issue the city would have moving forward.
So how does that affect the CRA? I know you're getting hit
If we get
significantly.
less collections, they have less collections.
No, we understand that,
Yeah.
but you've got this great big city with a lot of homesteaded properties, right? The CRA, my guess is, and I don't know exactly their specific boundaries and how many homesteaded properties are within the CRA, but my guess is it's quite a few less than you and somewhat more than what's on us.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know the particular numbers, but knowing their boundary, they basically take on the entire of the northwest area and a good chunk of the southwest area. So that's where you're going to see the large number of homesteaded properties. In there.
Right, but those probably aren't that. They're not like the beach side, which are millions of dollars in homes.
They're in the
and
beach
so
side as well.
What's
Their
that?
district goes to A1A.
Right, but does it go, how far north and south does it go, right? So I mean, every time I pick up the paper, there's a $30 million home sold in Delray. Now they're $40 million. Cole probably speak to it that there's probably a record higher than that now. I'm not sure.
Yes.
But
So the issue really is
$59 million for one home.
The issue is really whether the property's homestead or not, because most every home in the city is going to be valued at over what the exemption is, at least in the first year. So it doesn't matter whether it's a $12 million home or a $200,000 home. We're going to hit the same exemption level.
But it's going up by 150,000 or 100,000, right, or whatever. Go up by 100, then another 100,000 to 250. That's quite a difference on a $12 million home than it is on a $150,000 home.
But for the most part, it's going to be the value of the home that makes a difference. If it's $12 million, it's just how close the home gets to whatever the exemption value is.
Right, and I think I don't know what the average is. I know in Palm Beach County.
I think the bottom line is it's going to be less if this passes, regardless of the value of the home. It'd be less than what it would be if this doesn't pass. So I think from the city standpoint, and I'm not speaking for the city, but from the city standpoint, they have to adjust accordingly, regardless of the value. It's a matter of whether it's homestead and the exemption will apply to it. So their budget's going to be affected regardless of the type of property and the value of the property. It's just the amounts that are going to be different, but it's going to be less than what they would have budgeted for if it weren't in place.
No question about it. Yes, if it passes, it's impossible to not come down, right? That's a foregone conclusion.
Right.
And that's still a big if out there. And so hopefully and I'm sure the city's looking at it, well, if it does pass, this is kind of what we think we're going to do. If it doesn't pass, this is what we're going to do, right? So I'm hopeful that, again, I think it's much less affects the CRA, just like us at the DDA here. It's a very nominal effect on the DDA because of how few homesteaded homes there are in our geographic area, our budget area, our delineation. So I'm hopeful that we can try to work on that and look at that and see if there's not a way to help pick up a portion of the cost of this group.
So one of the things I can share with you is there's some other things in that legislation that are equally problematic. One of them being what we can actually spend ad valorem tax dollars on. It limits what we can spend tax dollars to basically infrastructure, public safety, and some very similar things like that. It leaves out large categories of things that we have expenses on.
So public safety is what I'm specifically talking about, right? Unless I'm missing something, the group that's out on the people that are in the yellow shirts are out there on the street, it's about public safety.
Assuming the state interprets it that way, because the legislation also says the state has the right to determine what is public safety, what is infrastructure, and they haven't clearly defined that yet.
I guess the only question would be until they turn around and say, because everything I've been hearing, we're not going to affect the police and we're not going to affect the fire. Is that they keep saying that publicly anyway?
I believe that got removed.
That's not accurate, yeah. It's public safety is being defined. They're defining whether or not currently it even includes police and fire. So the ambassador program is not part of that purview at this point. So it's a serious issue.
It's a matter of interpretation at this point. I mean, if it gets rewritten and placed on the ballot and gets 60+%, there's going to be a lot of discussion and adjustments on behalf of the city, the county, the DDA. Even though our numbers aren't necessarily as great as some other agencies, the DDA is still going to be greatly affected by this if it passes. And it may come in a different manner as it would for the city. But there's going to be different demands and expectations that could occur for the DDA and its budget if this passes, regardless of us not having a high percentage of homesteaded properties. it's going to be a big impact on the DDA's budget, and the expenditure of that
Well,
budget.
unless I'm missing something, I must be missing something, because I thought we got from the tax collector's office how many homesteaded properties were
No,
at, and the
I agree.
percentage of them.
I agree with that. The actual dollar value from the homestead property that we would lose as a DDA is not a high percentage comparatively to the city, but from what the city's losing and what the DDA's responsibility is, there may be some expectations.
Oh no, the city has already said that.
I know. So
the
it's
mayor
not,
said, "I hope
a,
you're going to be out here to
there's
help
a-
us pay
there's-
for some things and so forth."
Yeah, there's going to be a great impact on the DDA, regardless of the actual dollar amounts not realized from the tax legislation.
And then the only other clarification I had is the CRA allowed to pay for public safety?
They do.
CRA is
That's what I thought.
is designed to eliminate blight, and there's definitions and criteria for what that means that we could speak a lot about. I won't, but there's included within that is, design standards and police standards, etc., that they probably been paying for many years now, but budgets are going to be impacted, so it's going to be a great impact to the city if this passes, and I know Jeff agrees with that.
Yes, I do.
There was conversation. I apologize. I'm not up on all this politics. There was conversation about the CRA being going away entirely. It was sunshine or something.
Sunset.
That.
I believe the CRA still has till 2037.
Yeah, they extended theirs a couple
Good.
years ago,
Yep.
possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago was the last I really
If
saw.
they take on debt, I understand they're able to extend it further, because I've heard about other communities, Boynton, Pompano, so forth, that they're able to extend. They can't. They don't. The state doesn't force you to close if you've still got debt out there. I'm understanding that correctly.
And do they still intend to match the funds in that program where they get a half again?
I'm not sure I'm understanding matching what.
Well, the CRA gets tax money and then the state matches it.
The county and the state pay in based on tax revenues.
Right. But there was talk that they were going to stop that. I mean, it's a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
but
the state repeatedly tries to shut down CRAs,
Right.
and the issue the Chairman Knight brought up was that generally it's been viewed at, and this is a little bit more for your attorney to jump into, that if you have outstanding borrowing, the state can interfere with that, can't cut off the source. They will continue to try as they have done before in the past and come close to it. So we don't really know what the future holds for CRAs. The state has continuously tried to shut them down, but has not yet been successful. So who knows what's going to happen? We really don't know. Right now, things are moving forward as if they're going to be what they are. The CRA's revenue is based on a formula that involves tax collections, so they will be reduced as well. They do have some outstanding obligations. They have some things that we're moving forward with that they're funding, that the city's undertaking on their behalf. So we don't know exactly how much of their budget will be spoken for if November happens.
Wow.
It'll be a big change. And it's really, we all need to wait and see what happens, and we have to figure out exactly how we pay for what at that point. Like I said, part of it is also that the legislation limits what we can spend ad valorem dollars on. We have other sources of revenues. We have intergovernmental transfers and such, but a lot of those have requirements on and limitations on what it can be spent on. So where are we going to get the money to do certain things? That's what we'll have to sit down and figure out that we don't know right now.
Wow.
And I believe there's other fees and things like that that can be charged. I know in some areas, places don't have a fire tax fee or things like that, so forth, or assessment, so forth. And so I think there's other scenarios and potential. If mayhem breaks out and it does pass, then there's other ways to jog and
Yeah, we'll have
Try
to
to
sit down and figure out how things work. Have to be careful of what I say. I can't say too much. But yeah, well, if that happens, the city will sit down and we'll figure out what that means to our budget and what we'll fund and where the funding will come from.
And I think there's also additional tax, I think second reading maybe tomorrow, is that right, on the permits and so forth?
Oh, impact fees, yes.
Impact fees,
Actually,
yes.
that's on the 18th.
On the 18th, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there any updates on Old School Square while we got you here? Or are we just waiting for the...
That presentation's on the 18th too,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Have we heard from that report yet?
It is my understanding there'll be an update on that. That makes me sick. That's deep written here.
We've got extra waters here, I'm sure, if you like.
I get plenty.
Yeah.
I'm good here.
I think it's the
September 22nd
18th. Oh,
is when the findings will be presented to the commission.
How about the Crest Theater while we're here?
that's the same thing, right?
What's going to happen there will all be based on what happens out of this report.
Got it.
I think the CIP was just released on Friday. I haven't actually seen it yet, so I don't know what's in there for the Crest at this time.
Cool.
What's the CIP, just for everybody?
The capital improvement projects budget. All the
Thank
big
you.
ticket items.
Yes, thank
Thank
you, Jeff.
you.
Thank you.
Other than that, that's really all I have. I think that, we're doing everything we can with what we have. Then we just got to keep pushing along.
Talk about a monkey wrench.
Yeah,
Throwing a monkey wrench into everything. Now I'm like, I'm sorry I mentioned extra money. I feel like I'm a bad guy.
It's just realities that you have to look at and see,
Yeah.
So, although at the same time, I think it was just announced here in Palm Beach County, again, I'll have to defer to Cole. Was it $700,000, the average home in Palm Beach County? Is that what it's up to now?
I can't say for certain, but I would
Probably.
be
It
surprised.
sounds
Yeah.
I think it's
Normal.
$700,000, which is insane, because how do you pay employees $60,000 a year and expect them to live here?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a really vicious circle. Anyhow,
So one other monkey wrench. To that point, our office is also for sale. Our building is for sale. So just that change is going to be coming at some point, and what that looks like, we're already looking around, but just that there's not a real rush, but there could be, so we just need to take that into consideration as we move forward. So.
How long is that lease?
Well, we just signed for 5 more years, and
Termination clause in it?
and
there's
both favors, both
And what's the notice period?
6 months.
6 months either way?
Mhm.
so. But our responsibility, obviously, we can't move. We have to stay in downtown, so we want to make sure that we're mindful of that. And so, if we find something that is beneficial, we can look at that as we go forward. The other thing I'll put out there, but also bring forward at the next one, because I was reminded just as these budget conversations, there's a look at our reserves and what the percentage of our reserves should be based on our budget. So our reserves are healthy, and luckily we haven't had a disaster or something that would warrant the need for that. But the percentage average of your reserves should be in that 25 to 28% of your budget. So I put that out there, and we'll make sure that you're aware of that as we go forward. If there's
Where are we right now?
We're higher. We're in that closer to that 32%.
But that does not tie into Old School Square.
It doesn't, but it is part of, but it could. I mean, I'm thinking it could. I think that's just comes up as it was brought up by someone on today, that if there is an investment from the DDA for Old School Square programming, administration, something, it could be done. It's not that we're already investing into it with my salary and my time. So it's not something that doesn't say we can't do it. It really comes to board decision and if it's warranted. So I just put that out there. All right. So I appreciate your feedback and time, of course, on this. It's very helpful. And with that, I'll take your information back. I'll bring back answers and send out an updated information, a little more clear, simple, not so involved. But I mean, if there's better ways to share it, I think that would be helpful to know too.
And one thing, after the discussion, because I know we talked about it, we kind of like formed it a little more. Let's come up with like tighten up numbers, kind of where you're thinking of landing, so we could just see it kind of like, hey, this is kind of where, because I think we're on the same page versus because when I got a bunch of the ranges, it's hard for me to get my brain around it all. So that'd be great. And then I think we could move forward. But that'd be awesome.
Great.
Well, I don't think I actually said it, but keeping the payroll at 30% or so is just amazing. As you build it, as you handle what we do, really, it's remarkable. And I mean, if the ranges are all reasonable, and they seem to be, and you keep it there, that's exemplary, isn't it? Isn't it for most of the DDAs in the state?
Right. That's the key. Yes. Yeah. That's where you want to be. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, so we're moving on to 6C. It's actually 6C, not D.
C, right?
Yep. Oh, good. I have the old agenda.
Oh, yep. Elections.
All right, so you take this one.
I can take it. That's
Please.
fine.
You've
So
talked too much already.
we have our annual elections for board chair, vice chair, treasurer, and secretary. Typically, we start with the board chair and then move down the line.
I'd like to nominate Jim Knight for board chair.
Second.
After a rough day. Thanks a lot, guys.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job, Jim. And I think you're doing great. So, and you're trying to make everyone get on the same page, which I appreciate. And we're on the same page, just so you understand. So we're good.
Any other nominations? All right, hearing no other nominations, we're going to say all in favor. Vote.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Jim. You can take it over now.
Thank you so much. No, I'm going to let you.
All right, we're going to do vice chair now. Any nominations for vice chair?
I'm going to put Brian right back in the spot.
I'm fine with that.
We have Brian and we have a second. Any other nominations?
All in favor? Aye.
All right. Motion carries. Congratulations, Brian. I know this is what you wanted. All right.
Jewel, are you...
treasurer. We're doing treasurer?
Secretary first, right? Am I looking at my list?
My list says treasurer, but...
Board says secretary.
You get the old list.
I got the old list.
Oh.
Actually, I wrote on this one already, too, Liliana, so...
It's up to you. Secretary?
It doesn't matter.
All right, we're going to do
Treasurer.
secretary.
We'll do treasurer. I'll stick with you.
All right, we're going to open the floor for nominations for treasurer.
I'll throw Cole Devitt out there because I think he's done a great job.
Me too.
Cole, you do a good job. Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm fine.
We've gotten through like 15 audits in like the last, you've done a great job, you know.
We got 5 motions, no seconds.
Yeah.
Second.
All right.
I can't second, I'm sorry. Somebody else got a second.
Right. I'd like to
Jason
second
seconded. I heard him.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. All right.
Madam
yes.
Secretary?
Secretary. Madam Secretary. Oh, I didn't want to project that. Any nominations for secretary?
I'd like to nominate Julie.
Thank you, darling.
Second.
All right, Jewel. Any other nominations? Hearing none.
All in
Favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right.
Great. No, that's it. No, you don't.
Wow, look at that.
Cole seconded for secretary. Jewel.
All right.
Okay. We're going to make it on time for you, Brian,
I know,
here
I'm
today.
excited.
See that?
No changes.
Well, wait, I got a lot of comments. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
wait a minute. I don't know.
All right. Based on the discussion earlier, I don't have any further comment. There was a hearing there's a lawsuit, as you all know, filed against the tax legislation. There was a hearing, and the judge ordered that the language needs to be clarified. the state actors have 10 days from that order, which was last Tuesday, I believe, or Wednesday, to make that decision or appeal. So everything else, you already had the discussion. I just want to point that out to you all. So as soon as I hear the outcome of what the state is going to do or not do, I will let you all know. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
That's you. Executive Director.
Great. I'm going to give the first part of my time to Jeff. We spoke earlier this month, and I gave a couple items that I just wanted to give you all an update with. So I don't know if you could share a few things. That would be great.
Yeah, I apologize. I was a little discombobulated when I came in a little bit late, but Laura asked me to update you on a couple things. One was the Dunkin' Donuts at 540 West Atlantic. I can tell you that their site plan was certified on April 15th, and they are now in for building a permit. They're in their third cycle of review. Following an August 3rd resubmittal, they still have 19 comments to address, so it sounds like a lot. It's really not. Most of them are utilities. I would imagine those are going to get cleared up pretty quickly, and they'll have their building permit shortly. Laura also asked about what's going on with public outreach related to the entertainment district expansion into West Atlantic. I can tell you that we have 2 more public input meetings scheduled for that, one at 5:30 on Wednesday, August 19th at the Creative Arts School. And the other one is actually the CRA social scheduled for 5 o'clock on Thursday, September 3rd. After that, we'll shut that down. The department will work on something and bring it to the commission.
I'm sorry, Jeff, could you just repeat that? So August 19th, where?
August 19th at the Creative Arts School at 5:30. And then on September 3rd, during the CRA social at 5 p.m. over at their building at 98 Northwest 5th Ave.
Free food?
They usually do actually have free food.
What time was that one? On
The CRA's is at 5 o'clock.
And sorry, that is
September 3rd.
September 3rd.
The entertainment district, is that what you're talking
Yes.
about?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
It's a
and
big topic.
That's like real important for you.
Super.
well, there's a second conversation scheduled at the exact same time at 100 Northwest. I guess that's where we are right now. I have an burning conversations with Commissioner Burns at 6 p.m. at City Hall.
On the 19th?
That
Yes.
would be I can't speak to it other than Burning Conversations usually happens at Pompey Park.
Okay. I have that scheduled the same day for the same thing, though. Maybe I'm confused, but I'll clarify that, I guess, on Thursday.
It's possible.
Okay. And that's more of telling people what the entertainment district is and
And getting input
getting
from the
buy-in
public
from them.
on how do you feel about this? If you live close to us, are you good? Are you bad?
Okay.
We're trying to reach as many people as possible to find out how they feel
Yeah,
about it.
it just sounds
Because-
like it's split into 2 groups where there's like one where it's the public hearing and one where there's a meeting about it in public. So I feel like
So the thing-
if it's fragmented, we obviously need to just
Well,
get
the
everyone
thing I would
together.
tell you is when Vice Mayor Burns has her meetings, those are her meetings. Those are not city meetings.
Yes.
just for us to understand, so we'll be able, because we'll share that, because we obviously want our stakeholders to be able to attend those meetings as well. But if they can't, is there another way to give feedback or send information in, or are you only taking feedback at those meetings?
I do not know if anything more was set up for feedback,
Okay.
but certainly if I'll investigate and I'll let you know.
Okay, very
in the
good.
next few
Just
hours,
so we can let
hopefully.
them know. Mhm.
So if there's something you can publish, we get it out there.
Sure.
Update on the economic development study that's been mentioned about. The consultant did a basic presentation to the commission and has all but completed the report. That report should be submitted to us within the next 2 to 3 weeks, and we will act on it from that point. I also wanted to take a quick moment to tell you all that we now have a new economic development manager on board who just started today. I'm going to ask him if he's in the room, so I'm going to ask him to come up, and I'll introduce you to him. So this is Sam Kemp.
One job off your shoulder, huh?
Yay! This is Sam Kemp. Sam comes to us most recently from the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce, where, for those of you who have been around here for a while, he was actually working under Sarah Maxfield
Oh,
who was
great.
the economic development director here in the city till a few years ago. So I'll give him a chance, if you don't mind, to introduce himself. And we're going to let him hit the ground running once this report's in. So.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to be here in Delray Beach. Happy to serve as the Economic Development Manager, supporting the folks here at the CRA, the Chamber, but most importantly, the city and the residents. So happy to be on board, and the DDA.
Great.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
You should
Good to
come
meet
in
you all.
sometime and let us know what some of your plans are. We can get a little more acclimated.
Of course, yeah, maybe in a few weeks when we have that report and I get a chance to look at it all.
Yeah.
We
Of
have
course.
quite a bit of historical knowledge up here, and if we can help, not hinder, if we can help, we want to do that.
You guys been around a while?
Yeah.
The one thing I'll mention, because I got you guys up here.
Use your microphone, please, sir.
The one thing I'll mention, because I got you guys up here, is one thing I've run into recently is I know, I work in commercial real estate here in the area. I work with a lot of businesses coming to Delray doing things. Some of the things we like to have people do on the front end is get like a zoning verification letter. It's a straightforward, good tool to have. Make sure they're on the same page, the city's on the same page, people can do things. They used to take like 10 business days, which is fine. Takes a little time. Sometimes they get it done a little faster, but I think it's about a month now, is what I'm being told, or even longer. So it's just like, it's a tough thing when someone's trying to come into town to do something and it takes over a month. Some of them can be very complicated, zoning verification letters, others not as much. So I don't know if there's something we could do about that. I'm just putting it out there because I got you here. And then the other thing is just the business tax receipts. I know that that's also, it's one of these things. It's like we want these businesses to open, and it used to be like 2 to 3 days when like this woman Darcy was there. But anyways,
Yep, Darcy.
now it takes like almost a month. And it's just like, again, a month for that, a month for that. All of a sudden, you're like 6 months behind, and meanwhile, you're trying to negotiate leases, pay rent, do the things, and it's just anything we can do to help or help people facilitate working with the city so it goes smoother. I just want to mention
And
it.
unless I'm missing something, each of those bring money into the city.
They do, and our DDA downtown.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Mr. Rosen, we have made some significant strides in those. There's been some delay due to movement to the electronic system. There's a lot of people who are not understanding how to do that. We're still helping people walk through that. If you're giving it time, it says a month, that's probably worst case scenario. And I can tell you that Development Services has a lot going on with those things. And we are certainly working on that and trying to enhance the process as best as we can. It's an ongoing improvement. So we're aware that people have had issues. My friend over here being one of them earlier, Mr. Costello, he had to come in and we walked him through it, and he got his BTR last year when we had a concern. We're doing what we can and trying to enhance the processes to the best extent possible.
I will say and put out a shout out there for Anthea that I did have a couple of projects come through recently, and they did turn quicker than usual than recently. So I was glad to see. Hopefully it's getting, whatever it is, getting straightened out. But 2 things that came. Anthea, I hope you hear me.
Well, on
and one
that
of the things
note.
you're going to hear a lot about moving forward, because we know we have a lot of issues, is we had some things before you a couple months back where you were criticizing the city on the timeline. You're going to find we're going to be a lot more transparent about some of those timelines and tell you when we have it for 5 days and then it sits waiting for responses to the comments for 70 days, we're not going to take that blame. And we're going to show you where it's not us. We will make it absolutely positively clear. We are reviewing it within the timeline that we're required to review it in, which is 10 days. And in most cases, we're doing it in half that. And then it's sitting on with someone else waiting for responses to the comments for 2 months or more. And then everybody's saying it's us. It's not.
That's not what we're talking about. I was just talking about the BT.
I'm just saying we're moving forward. We're going to put a push on educating people on this process, and also trying to find the best way possible to let owners know how to check up on their permits so that they can see from their own desk what's going on.
Thank you so much. And
Speaking of transparency, Mr. ACM, we used to get a report. We used to get and see every business that was in our district come in front of us, and we saw the paperwork. Now there's no transparency. We have to go ask for it to get a report. I mean,
planning
You
and
guys
zoning
could give
items.
us as transparent as you want.
You get a report on any new applications that have come in.
Do we?
If there's any.
If there's any, there were none this month.
Okay.
That's not a good sign.
And then
A lot of that vacant stuff.
I've asked Laura if there's anything in particular that the board members want to be updated on. Let me know a couple days in advance of the meeting, and I will come to the meeting ready to respond.
Truth be known, the few things that we did bring up last year are that they come before us. They come to us, and we advocate for them. We don't go looking for
The chair's going to jump in here and cut it off so we can finish up on time by 3
I'm sorry,
o'clock.
Brian's
so
gotta
I
go at 3.
apologize. And somebody else has it, kids at school and so
Pick up,
forth, so I
right?
get it.
It's my son's first day of kindergarten.
Awesome!
I would like to pick him up on
So
time.
I'd like to ask.
Don't
where
be
is he
late.
at?
Don't be that dad.
Don't be late.
That is-
Jason, the important question, where is he at?
He's at South Olive Elementary.
Nice.
Go Tigers.
There we go.
I think it's Tigers.
I think it's Tigers. All right, thank you, welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
I look forward to seeing that plan. Awesome.
He's like, good luck.
We're gonna let the two,
No.
under board comments, we're gonna let the two that gotta keep going go first, so please, Jason, go
I
ahead.
have no further comments at this time. Thank you.
Ryan?
I'm good.
Bob?
One quick
Yep, please.
comment. I think it would be great if we had an event where everybody on the board went down to the Visitors Information Center and saw some of the issues that are going on with the Visitors Information Center. I've taken Brian down there. I venture to say most of the people here have not been to see the restrooms and the situation
I
that's
have.
down there.
It's better to go on the beach.
So I'd like for us to consider having some sort of a coffee and pastries event.
In the bathroom.
Not in
I'm
the
kind of
bathroom.
thinking,
Do you have any comments?
I've heard one city
Almost done.
administrator say that they walk in that bathroom all the time barefooted. I don't believe that to be a true statement, but we had a commitment from the city manager that bathroom was going to be completely renovated out of the bonds issue that we had, and I just don't know what the status is on that at this time. But I think it would be really good if we all met down there and had Shelley and
So
Laura.
long as we're not violating any sunshine laws. That's my concern with that. Independently, I think we can do it. And as it relates to the money being spent on that, it's my understanding, as long as it was mentioned in the bond or whenever they floated that, right, they can spend the money on that. It's other items that was not mentioned, they can't spend the money.
It
Right,
was scheduled.
the status of that, I did get an update from the city manager that it's in this year's budget, so it will be completed before September 30th, and should be coming forward, obviously, in the next week or so, of the upgrades to the restrooms. It's the piping around, they're redoing the piping around the center, so they will eliminate the problems that we've been having with the drainage. And it's more of a internal cosmetic changes and upgrades. It's similar to what some of the other restrooms that they've done in the public parks.
Well, my 2 cents very quickly is that it needs to be a lot nicer than the ones they've done. This is in the center of our...
It's on Atlantic Avenue.
On Atlantic Avenue, and it is absolutely deplorable that we let people stay next door, spend $600-700 a night for a hotel room, and right across the street is something that ought to be in the 3rd ward of Houston or something. So anyway, that's just my comment.
Thank you.
Just to piggyback on that real quick, and I don't want to be fast, is the bathroom's in rough shape. I know we talked about it before. I'd love to go and try to revisit if we could work with the city and work with the hotel owner to see if he wants to brand it, make it beautiful, tie it to the hotels. Maybe we have some funds since we are looking at upping the budget for the center to like 60,000 or whatever it was from 40. Maybe we have budget to have a bathroom attendant there for certain hours. But again, I would like to talk to the hotel or some of these other East high net worth stakeholders and see if they want to invest in that bathroom and if we can brand it. Because if you can brand it and they can promote some of their restaurants and it's clean and nice and it's our downtown beach, and maybe if we have some money that we say you make it nice, we'll help staff it during certain hours to make sure it stays clean. Maybe it's something we can do, and it probably gets more visits than the visitor center at the end of the day. So it'd be actually like a high impact, touching visitors and locals type situation. I think that sounds weird in the bathroom, but I didn't mean to be talking about touches and high impact, but I just think it's an opportunity where we could really raise the bar and bring our whole beach to a new level.
Yeah.
And I just think it's like, that's where I'd spend money, you know, in that specific pocket for sure, or try to find
It's the
money.
whole facility.
And-
that
yeah, I
needs
think
the-
it's
the
I
landscaping,
think there's an
the front
opportunity
doors, the
there,
whole thing.
right?
Yeah, and there's public art was also something that we talked about, but also beautification. I think that's why it's really important to
So-
tie it all together.
So Bob, I was just going to jump in and say it's one of the items on the beautification task force lookout. And I have no idea, I never know when I say certain things if they're appropriate or inappropriate, but I would happily volunteer my time and expertise, because that's what we do for a living. We beautify things. I own a high-end design firm. Happily volunteer to design it and call out every material and do whatever. Do it completely for free with the attempt of making it beautiful in whatever capacity. Am I allowed to say that?
Just so long as we don't step
the
on the
city's
city's.
they're renovating it now.
Right.
So
Let's
I
wait
think
and see
any
how it comes
upgrades
out.
after that.
And you
will
said by
be-
September 30th, right?
That was
That'd be
yes.
awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we'll know, and then whatever.
Let
we
me
wanna
know if you
do,
need
then
my input,
can't.
but that's something
But that's
I
part of the
100%
visitor-
agree with.
Perfect. We'll
Great.
include that in our visitor.
Al, anything else?
No, just that I think Brian's idea with getting those high-end investors is
I
a
agree.
great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
I want to just close with one thing, and that's I was handed out an article from 2015 when they were talking about how Delray Beach became the hottest spot north of Miami Beach. And we've got a number of restaurants right now and some of the bars and things like that are starting to close down, unfortunately. They're not making it. And yes, it's a NASCAR, and they're going to come in, the new ones in behind them. But anything we can do to keep momentum going in the downtown and the city of Delray as a whole, we need to keep doing. Anyway, so be friendly. You see somebody new, you see somebody whatever, just be friendly, period. That's where it starts. Thank you.
Awesome.
With that, motion to adjourn?
Second.
Great. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate everyone's time.